Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Got a weird morning going on here, as you can tell. And I've got to leave early, but I'll be back. So I'm going to see if Uncle Dave comes in. I'm probably going to have Uncle Dave just take over for a little bit because I got to go run and pick up my child at 10 o'clock sharp. And so I have to leave here at 9:45 to get her. Hey, Uncle Dave. Are you available this morning in about 45 minutes to take over this little program for a little bit while I run and get Ellery from a neighbor's? And that's all. So, hey, let's start this proper. I'm going to throw up our entry. So, everybody, stand by. Here we go. We're actually officially starting now. Well, happy Sunday morning, everyone. How you doing? Good to have you here. Look, Uncle Dave is here already. I'm going to bring him in right away. And,
hey, morning.
How you all doing? How you doing, Dave?
Better today than yesterday.
All right. Well, that's good to know. What happened yesterday?
Oh, I'm just getting over being sick.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
A wizard is never early, late, nor healthy or sick, except when he chooses to be. So, how's everybody out there this morning? I got to run and get Ellery at, I have to pick her up at 10 a.m. sharp, as they might say out in Boston.
Where's she at?
She's at a neighbor or a friend of ours from Scouts and stuff for an overnight, and they have to leave at 10 o'clock sharp to go to church, so I got to go pick her up. And Rainey's got a massage this morning to do. Uh-oh, we lost Uncle Dave. So he'll be back. Rainey's got a massage to do this morning, so she's got to get out of here in about 20 minutes or so. So she won't be here to pick up the small child. So how's everybody doing this morning out there? I'm awake, but I don't sound awake, even though I've been awake for about a half an hour. I had enough time to get up and make my coffee for Sunday morning coffee. I did not put on a clean shirt. I just grabbed the one that was on my chair in the bedroom. And there we go. There's Uncle Dave. Hey, Carly Sagan. Good to see you. Yours is the first.
I have no idea what I did.
It's all right. I do that stuff all the time.
I think it's because the leave button is down here, and it was just how I was shifting my phone to the other hand, and I must have touched the glass just enough for it to trigger.
I hear you. Well, let's say good morning. Hey, Kristen Holmes, good to see you this morning. And who else we got? Carlene Smith is here. And Randall Flagg and Elderberry. And I see Sean Vest is here. Good to see you. Uncle Dave's even here. Look at that. Field Guy's here. Morgan Snow. We've got people gathering this morning. And so if I sound stuffy, it's only because I slept hard, and I got up about 20 minutes ago. And I got up and I made my coffee, and that's what I was doing. I was fetching my coffee. I just set the show to start automatically at 9 a.m., and I ran upstairs to get my coffee. So, I say goodbye to my wife, who's going to do a massage. So I got to go get the small child at 10:45. I got to leave. And I'll be back before, 9:45, I got to leave. So everybody watch the clock. 9:45 or 10:45 if you're out east, or 7:45 if you're out west. I got to get out of here and go get the child, but I'll be back in 15 minutes.
And I'll be here.
And Uncle Dave will be here, and he will be officially guiding the show. He'll have the rudder. He'll be at the captain's wheel. So.
Okay, mind me while I'm getting my phone out of the case so I can.
It's okay. It's okay. It's dizzying, but it's okay.
Yeah, I can do this for a minute.
We'll just do this while you're doing that. And so I've already asked it. How's everybody this morning? I went and did some work last night for a friend of ours, longtime friend here in Somerset, New Richmond area, and old neighbor, and for Heather Marie. And she owns a rigging company, and she does lights and sound and all of this stuff and rigs everything built for concerts. And she's done a lot of major league concerts in town. And she asked me, "Hey, you want to come along and help tomorrow?" And I said, "Sure." And it was the Chicago concert over at a smaller venue, but it was the Mystic Lake Casino. Not Mystic Lake, the other one. Down in Hastings.
Treasure Island.
Which one?
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island. And so it was fun. It was a full day. I mean, you set up. We got to be there at 10 in the morning, and then we set everything up, the concert. And it usually takes about 2-3 hours for setup. And then the concert runs from 8 o'clock at night till 10:30, 11, and then it's haul it out. And so you can go home for the 8 hours in between or hang out. So we all hung out. We just sat in the van and we smoked cigarettes and talked and laughed and all of that stuff for about 7 hours last night. But it was a gorgeous day. And so did other stuff, just hung out. They catered meals, and it was great food at the casino. So we had a good time. And she paid me well, which was nice.
Well, good.
So,
that's always good.
So, hey, Susie Q, good to see you this morning. Your lovely face. Randall Flagg, if I didn't say hello earlier. And all those of you who are coming in, what's everybody got going on? If you didn't see the link is right here. I shall copy it and paste it in. And that link right here, that is the link to call into this show. If you got something you want to say, let me bring Uncle Dave back up to equal standards here. Boom, there we go.
The downside is while you're gone, I won't be able to bring people in. That's
true. For the 15 minutes, probably max, that'll be gone. It's about 2 miles. Oh, wait a minute. I forget I can't cross our bridge is closed out. So what took 3 minutes to get to their neighborhood will now take me about 13 minutes. So I could be gone for a half an hour.
It's okay.
So
we'll talk.
Yeah. So it'll be a little longer. I'll be gone because I got to go all the way around the highway. So good morning. Hi.
Who's that?
That's Rainey. She's got to go do a massage.
Good morning, Rainey.
Okay. Oh, I didn't think to bring that up. So her massage table's down here from Mother's Day. Okay, that's all right. Have fun. Be safe. So it's for Rainey does.
Ice your fingers.
What's that?
Ice your fingers.
I didn't hear that because it's thump. She's banging up the stairs with that thing.
Oh, told her to ice her fingers.
Oh, ice her fingers. Yes. And so it's not too heavy for her. She hauls that thing around, and she's like an old farm girl that totes the bales and, lifts cows and throws them. And it's just bulky. It's the shape of it all folded up, or folding massage table. So it was thump, thump, thump up the stairs. Morgan Snow says her oldest son is officially a doctor now. A doctor of pharmacology. A doctor of pharmacology. Congrats to your son, Morgan. That's pretty cool. And see, what if Uncle Dave drops out Well, maybe Field Guy could take over for a little bit if Uncle Dave drops out. So I got Plan B and Plan C.
Well, Field Guy could call in and we could chat while you're gone.
Yes. Now, we live in this small town of Somerset, and Dave knows the lay of the land here, but we have two ways you can, all different kinds of ways you can get into Somerset. But
nothing
the main
should
way
be more than 10 minutes apart, but because of the way Wisconsin does its road.
That's right. And so, you can come down the highway, exit on the highway, and it's about a quarter mile to the stoplight, and then you cross the bridge over the Apple River, and you're in our town. Well, they've closed the bridge down. They're working on the bridge through possibly September or October. Now, so to get out of town and onto the highway was about a 3-minute drive from where we live in town here. Now you got to go out the back end to get to the same place, the other side of the bridge, which would take 3 minutes. Now you got to go all the way out the back highway and around the main highway and come back around like you were exiting to get to the bridge in the first place. That takes roughly 13 minutes. And that is the quickest way. And of course, where Ellie is staying with her friend last night, they're right on the other side of the bridge over there. So I got to do the 13-minute trek to go all the way around.
The other weird thing about your town, so there's 2 or 3 different roads that come into town.
Yeah.
When I used to go to your old neighborhood, I would come in from the west. Well, come in from the east. It would be facing west if I were leaving. Anyway, I would come in and I would take the exit to go to your neighborhood, which is only 2 blocks from your new neighborhood.
Yeah.
But that neighborhood doesn't connect to your new neighborhood. You have to go out and go
to the other side of the bridge.
It's like, what the hell? Why don't these roads connect anywhere? You can't get from this neighborhood to that neighborhood without going through the main downtown and back into another road and then up into a different cross section to get it. I don't know. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, it's nutty. But what do they have to, what can they do? They gotta build. They're expanding the bridge a little bit. It's just a little tiny 2-lane bridge, that's about 100 feet long. It's spanning the Apple River, and the little river runs through town here. But it's got to be fixed.
Walk across.
Yeah. You could. I could walk to work faster. So I work up at Quick Trip. Now I haven't been there all week. I work Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night. I'm just doing that to hopefully, it brings in a little extra cash. And so I do 3 or 4 night shifts a week. And it was 3 minutes away. Now it's 13 by car. I suppose I could walk it and be there in 8, So
happy birthday, Kristen.
Happy birthday, Kristen Ivins. I threw that up to say happy birthday. How you doing? It's her birthday today. It's your birthday. Wah, wah. I watched the band Chicago last night because I was there working with my friend Heather Marie, who owns a rigging company to set up the stage work and the lights and the sound and all that stuff.
So you were a roadie.
I had a job last night, all day yesterday as a roadie. So it was kind of fun. It was a mellow setup. We had about 40 people there, it seemed, setting up. They had their own people, and some of their stage hands, there's about a dozen of them or more, 15 maybe, that have been with them for 20 years, and they go everywhere. So they're there, and we had to unload all the semis to get all their equipment and gear off. And then we had my friend Heather had 15 people show up, and for her end of it, and then the casino has their people, and so we're just flooded with people. And we're doing all the roll carts, Dave. And Dave, you know what this stuff looks like, all the tech carts and all of that on wheels. So it was like there's barely any lifting or hefting anymore. You just roll it all in off the semi. And So we had a good time. We got all set up, and it was mellow. I don't think I barely ever even broke a sweat. With all the gear that came, we unloaded 2 of their 4 semis because that's all they needed because it's a smaller venue. It was only about 2,500 seating in there as opposed to 30,000 somewhere else. And so we were standing in line waiting to grab the next cart. Who's next? Who wants to take this one? Kind of thing. We just formed a line and we rolled them. So I rolled about 4 or 5 carts in the morning full of gear, and the breakdown was a little different. So I helped the stage manager up there, their stage manager, Chicago's stage manager, and helped them set up certain things and helped them at the end. And there, ever present, ever vigilant, with my good attitude, my can-do attitude. So that was fun yesterday, and it wasn't heavy work, but some of it was. Do you know when you get to be my age? Do you know how far away that floor gets when you bend over? It's like, oh, I can bend over just fine. It's the floor's getting further away. So you bend over, you're like,
and
when you're out of shape,
the cables start to feel heavy.
And when you're out of shape like me, it's like folding a grapefruit, to get down to my ankles. So it's like, oh man. And then there's Heather Marie. We hung out all day because she's a friend. We just all hung out. She's out there. She's just bubbly and got just too much energy. And we're walking to the van because we felt like high school kids. Let's go smoke in the van. And even though it was a gorgeous day outside, and we went out there, and on our way to the van, she's like all energy and bubbly. And she goes and she does like 4 or 5 cartwheels and then a front flip over as we're walking down and she's like pushing 40. Sorry if I'm aging you, Heather, if they're out there late 30s, early, she might even be 40. I don't know. But she did her backflips and all of that. And I'm like, and some of the truck drivers were watching and they're all clapping as she did it. And I looked back and I said, I can do that. I just don't want to show her up. So that's the kind of day it was. And I'm recovering with mimosas and chilling. So hello, everyone, says Steph Cuervo Queen, recovering with mimosas. Everybody watch the clock because in precisely 27 minutes,
well, it's 9:23, and if it's going to take you 13 minutes to get there.
I better leave at 9:40 just to be there on time. We don't want to piss him off.
Yeah.
So we don't want to piss him off before church. So
they put a hex on you.
Hey, Valerie, how you doing? Welcome to the show. You know what?
You could take your phone and call into the show.
I could.
And you could let yourself in before you leave, and we'll just travel with you.
What about that? I could do that. Let's see how that works. Let's see. I might try that. Now, as you all know, I talk about smoking, and I don't smoke as much as I used to. I smoke when I have conversations. If I have a big phone call, I'll walk outside. That's not good
because you fucking talk all the time.
Yeah. Shut up, Dave. Oh, what's this button do? Oh, where did he go? Oh, there he is. All right. So, but yesterday, so I end up smoking roughly. I'll go out during the day when I'm just working. I'll go and I'll smoke a halfie. Then I'll leave half of it in the ashtray. I'll come out a couple hours later, smoke the other halfie. I'll do that 4 or 5 times a day. So Randy says, you're always outside smoking. Well, I only smoked about 3 cigarettes all day long. So that's about how I smoke. And, but yesterday when we're sitting
in bed,
being high school kids, talking all afternoon in our downtime between haul in and haul out, we just lit up one after the other. And there was a beautiful breeze outside. We were standing outside. Then it got too sunny, and it was a little hot in the sun and bright. It was bright sun yesterday, really bright. It's like, wow, that's like brighter than normal. And so we'd sit in the van, open up all the windows, and that breeze in there was amazing. And so we smoked in the van all day. And but then it was cigarette after cigarette after cigarette. I think I smoked a half a pack of cigarettes yesterday, and I'm like, this morning I'm like, you know,
paying for it today, aren't you?
Yeah, what's that?
You're paying for it today.
I'm paying for it today. It's like getting drunk, you know. When you get drunk, you don't usually drink that much, but you pay for it in the morning. So I have not had one yet today. So I feel like I've had 3 days allotment to yesterday. So smoking in the boys' room, says Randall Flagg. Should come on and sing that for us. Elvis, how you doing? The Creeper van. Yeah, this is just a regular van. It's an old van. It's an old minivan. What is it? It's a Honda Odyssey, which they're supposed to last forever. And it's an okay looking old van, gray, sliding doors at work, which is nice on both sides. And the interior still needs shampooing. We haven't done that yet. Now even more so after yesterday. So I'm dropping Heather off because I picked her up because she had a couple of teenage boys that she was bringing that are friends of her family that wanted to work it, and her daughter. And the van smelled smoky. And I said, when we lit up in the van, I said, we can smoke in the van this morning. I said, don't tell Rainey we smoked in the van. Like, it's a joke because it's going to smell like smoke. And this is not Rainey's car. It's technically mine because she uses the Buick and the Rendezvous. And that's her car. And so as we're leaving, Heather goes, oh, Rainey's going to be pissed off with the smoke smell. As I'm dropping her off, I go, nah, she'll be okay. She goes, I got an idea. Let's just spray it with my perfume. So she pulls out her perfume and all over the roof. And it's like, and I get out and it's all over me. And she goes, there, the smoke is taken care of. I go, yeah, but now my van smells like you. And so do I. And she goes, uh-oh, maybe I should text Rainey and say, just ignore my perfume smell all over Scotty. So that was funny. So now my van.
Febreze. Just get some Febreze.
I've got some. I've got some. I think it's car Febreze. So I can use some of that. Susie Q's mama always had an Accord. There it is. Well, this Honda Odyssey, it's a nice van. I mean, and it was given to me. I think I told you when I got it a few months ago, several months ago now. My friend Andy Dabbs, who I wrote his book for him and did a lot of work for him, he called me once because we were reduced to one vehicle, and he would always just send somebody to pick me up and drive me the 3 hours up and drive me the 3 hours back. That's what you can do when you have money. And so
fetch people.
Yes. And we had not replaced. It was such a poor financial fourth of last year, first of this year. Hence why I work at Quick Trip at night to make a little extra money. That we just couldn't replace the car yet. And so he said, I got you a van. He called me. He says, if you get up here, he says, I'll send somebody or you can make. And so Rainey drove me up and he gave us this van. And now it had about almost 200,000 miles on it. And I said, oh, that's pretty high miles. And they said, and then Rainey's stepdad, who's a mechanic, said, that'll last you another 250. The Honda Odysseys are fantastic. And so we took it home, and it didn't look the gift horse in the mouth because of that. But the thing is, knock on Formica, has been fantastic. So he just gave us the van, and it was an old dude that in his 80s that had used it for business back and forth to the cities and had left it just out in a garage on his property. So it had some mouse turds in it and things like that. So we brushed it all out, vacuumed it. But I put Rowan to work. Rowan goes, I'll do that if you pay me $40. I said, if I had $40, I'll do it myself. So, but we gave her $20 and she vacuumed it all out and wiped everything down. It needs a professional detailing job on the interior. But other than that, there is nothing wrong with that van. And they even, when I picked it up, it died on the way over to Andy's. And so they came and they said, I'll bet you it's that old battery. They came out from, and it's a dealership he does business with all the time. And they're all friends. And so they sent a guy right out and he put in a brand spanking new battery. And then the only other problem was the bolt that holds the alternator to the engine had sheared off somewhere along the way over the years, and it gotten weak and it sheared off, and so they took it in their shop, 2 hours. They had it all fixed and ready to go. There has not been a single problem with that, other than we had a little brake line leak on it, and my brother-in-law came over and fixed it. Rainey's little brother. So, knock on wood. So, and that was just a gift. And he said, I got this van for you. He says, they were just, and the way he presented it to me, the guys at the dealership that I work with, he said, they just, they took it in on trade, and they won't make a lot of money. So they gave it to me. If I wanted it, it's yours. And, well, thank you. You know, all the profuse thank yous. Then I'm talking to the guys in the shop when Andy wasn't there. And I said, hey, I appreciate the van. And I said, that was really nice. And I said something about, you know, them giving it to Andy and letting me have it. And he said, he says, it cost something. And so whatever it was, Andy bought the van for us. So I think he spent $4,000 on it or something like that. So that was kind of nice, but it's a nice old used van and it looks okay. It's got this weird pinstriping on the side though. It looks like it's kind of a long whoosh that comes down, and they're mixed with a second one that comes out. It's on both sides, and it's kind of cream colored, and it's got all these little lines in it. If you step back from the van, it looks like somebody ran into you and tore out the side of the vehicle. It looks like a big gash on the side of the van. Other than that, but there you go. So, am I coming to Virginia in June? Valerie, I will if I can. I don't know any details yet. I have no idea who's coming, when Wendy's coming, when anybody else is gathering. I have no clue. So I haven't heard a date. If I can get a solid date, I can get it on the calendar and hopefully make it down. So mostly it's timing. It's timing and all that jazz. So
all that jazz. Where's Rowan and Flynn today?
Rowan, she was here last night. She's upstairs, I think. And still. And I've only caught her in passing. You know, preteen girls. You go, hey, good morning. Hi. It's like, what? No. It's usually, hey, good morning. What? Rowan, come here. Cuz. Are you presentable? Come on around. Did I just hear the door upstairs? Yeah. Who would be here? Flynn?
Mom has work.
I thought she left.
Morning, Rowan.
Hi.
So there's there you go.
Hi.
She was sitting on her bed watching TV and her phone and drying her hair. I go, good morning. She goes, what? I said, good morning. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, look at the camera and say hi.
Hi.
Okay, if you're going to type on your phone, you can go.
Well, I'm going to the beach with one of my friends today, and it's either Maddie or Annabelle. But if I'm going with Annabelle, then we're doing more than the beach. If I'm going with Maddie, then we're going to the beach. But I have to go with Annabelle after church. If I'm going with Maddie, I meet Maddie at the train tracks in a little bit.
Okay. All right. I get it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's so hard being 11.
I know. Life.
Oh
so, your hair looks nice.
I know. I took a shower.
Finally.
Thanks, Dad. I know. I took a shower. Yeah, teen problems. Preteen problems. Her case. She's 11. And But I'll be 12 this year when the winter starts.
You will be, and you'll still be a teen.
There's Heather
until
Marie.
You're 13, but you're getting
Heather Marie took a shower today.
I
She
took a
says,
shower this
"Oh,
morning.
teen problems." She said that. Heather Marie is my friend who I think we've been friends for 15 years. Rainey and I. I think Rainey met her, and then I met her. We always would bump into each other and all that. So she's the one I worked for. She's got the rigging company. So everybody say good morning to Heather. Good to see you this morning. And sounds right. 15 years. Yeah, that's about right. And so you can go friend her and see what she's all about. And for Heather, I had a good time yesterday. It was a lot of fun. I was describing, we felt like high school kids smoking in the van all day. So, and leaving it perfumed.
Have fun at the beach today.
Yeah, have fun at the beach today. What beach you going to? Perch Beach.
Perch Lake, but it's
Perch Lake
basically a
Beach.
And I saw
She's going to
tan.
Somerset to bring up to the roof.
Is there
up
like
to the
really good
stage.
surfing
Oh,
there?
What?
Is there good surfing there?
No.
Heather wants to go to the beach. Yeah, we should all go to the beach. And and Heather is working with another friend of mine now, Steve Kaufman, who used to be part owner of the Cedar Lake Speedway, and then he bought several years ago, 5-6 years ago now, the River's Edge, the tubing on the Apple River up here in Somerset. And so he's got a big bandstand. I don't know technically what you call it, Heather, but okay, bye. I'll see you in a bit. And they have big concerts there, outdoor concerts. And so Heather is now the official, I don't know if she owns it now or ownership in the rigging company, but that's her gig now. It's this
Very
big
cool.
stage. She just calls it a stage, she said. Heather, are you in any form? You should come on air. Just call in. We'll bring you on air and you can say hi for 5 minutes. There it is. There's the link. I put it into the chat
9:37.
room. 9:37. I got to take off in 3 minutes. So, but I'll be back. Uncle Dave is going to take over the show, and for about
Call into the show before you leave. Let yourself in.
yes, I'll. Oh, that's right. I got to do that. Hang on. Let me go grab my phone. I should do that.
So, what have we all been up to?
I will, as Dave suggested, I will just call into my own show. Well, let's see if it lets me. Because I got to sign into my YouTube to do it. So, Heather has to get going. All right, Heather, we'll get you another time. You have a fun day. And she's got to go all the way back out to, she's going to Somerset today. So she'll be around. You'll be around here. Just swing over here when you're done. And if you want, Rainey's doing a massage this morning. She'll be back in a couple of hours. So good to see you this morning. And I will do this while we're talking here because I'm going to have to leave in moments, mere moments, to get my kid. Let's see if I can call into the show. Let's see. There we go. Sunday morning. To get my kid.
I'm bringing up another screen so I have
Let's
access
see. You're
to
gonna
the
get
chat room
feedback
while you're
here.
gone because I haven't seen the chat room yet this morning.
Let's see. I don't know.
I'm bringing up another screen so I have access to the chat room.
Wow, I should have figured this out ahead of time. Let's see. There it is. StreamYard. It's a live link. So I can turn off YouTube to do that. You're going to get a little feedback here, folks. So
Turn the volume down on your phone for a minute.
continue with YouTube. Yes. And choose an account. This one. Continue with YouTube. Yes. Yada yada. Choose an account. Wear headphones. Continue as Scotty Roberts. There we go. My mic is working. Enter studio. You're backstage. There we go. Voila. There I am. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute this mic. I'm going to mute the. Yeah, see, I'm going to get feedback now. So I got to go get the kid, but I'm taking you with me.
All right.
Let's take this one out. Well, we'll leave that on. I'll just exit. All right, folks. Uncle Dave is taking over,
Sort of.
and you won't get that feedback once I get away from the computer.
Yeah. Just
There we go. All right. And I could go
There you go.
sideways with my phone.
We take a little side trip with you. It's all good.
Yeah. I got to go get the child. For those of you who didn't hear. Hey, Rowan. Rowan. Ro. I got to go get Ellie. Or I got to go get Ellie. All right. So I'll be back. And I also have to hook up my my phone to the map so I can get there. All right, I'm going.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Have
I
fun.
love you. See ya. Have fun. I'm on the radio show. All right. I'm gonna drive barefoot.
Bye, Rainey.
Well, she's
thought you
already
were
ran
gone.
in the house. She's loading up her massage table. I think her massage is at 10:30, something like that. So I'm gonna take a little side thing here to find their address. I got when I get over to that part of town. So I don't have anything to hook my phone up to here. Let's see how.
Little sketchy. You're breaking up a little bit. We'll see how it holds out. So, anyhow, this is Scott driving.
There we
across
go.
town. There we go.
My
He's back.
my phone had to switch from house internet to phone internet. So there we go.
All right.
Does it work if I go sideways? Nope. Look at that. Keeps me
It
upside
looks
down.
fine. It looks fine. Just drive.
Let's go.
Just drive.
I am. So there's the big water tower. Ta-da. This is my little town where I live. It's my town.
It's definitely a little town. Like I said, you should be able to
Yes.
go anywhere in that town in 10 minutes.
I should be able to.
But
So,
set it up in such a way.
I'm going to
that-
have to, when I get to the other side of the bridge, which is, by the way, the bridge, if I come right here, this is the main street of Somerset. Right here. There it is, Main Street. And the bridge is that way about 3 blocks. But now I got to drive all the way around to bypass the construction work on the bridge.
Craziness.
So,
Absolute craziness.
and if I could have somebody else do it for me, I'd set my GPS, have you set my GPS. So when I get back over to that side of the town, I know the basic neighborhood they're in. I just don't know where their house is. I got to look up their address, which is in my text messages. So there's the, so here, we'll just switch this around. Let's see if we can do that. I'm not going to do it while I'm on the phone, while I'm driving. Let's see if I can actually switch my camera around. No, I can't. So the controls are different in here, and while I'm driving, I don't want to mess with it.
That's
So,
okay. Let's not have an
as you
accident.
can see, the loveliness that is Somerset, Wisconsin. So, let's see. Does it allow me to do that? No, it doesn't allow. Oh, wait. Nope. Not going to do it. So, here. I'll just turn
No,
it that.
because you're in StreamYard, and StreamYard
There you go.
functions differently.
There's the love. This is the back highway.
I know this is riveting radio, but here's the highway I'm on. I got to take this for several miles down this way, 8 miles around. It's only 8 miles around, but you're at 40 miles an hour here. So this is the speed limit. So how's your day, everyone? What's
But you're
going on? I can't see
Wisconsin
the
plates,
chat
and
room,
you live in
obviously.
Wisconsin, and nobody pays attention to speed limits in Wisconsin.
Yeah, except the police. So they're the only ones that care because it's revenue for the city. But yeah, here it is. This is welcome to Somerset, Wisconsin. There it is. This is our town. So on the highway out of town, there's the American Legion. And I always remember that line. Remember the movie in the 80s, Romancing the Stone, with Michael Douglas and Catherine, whatever her name is. And they had the cartel dude that was driving them all around, and they're being chased and guns shot. And he's showing him his little town and his little Pepe, his little truck, pickup truck. And he's driving them through, and they're getting shot at. And he goes, and over there is this. And he says, and do you see that fence post? That's where I was born. So there you go. You see that fence post over there? I was born there. So when we get to the other side of the bridge, and maybe it won't seem that long, but when we get to the other side, I will have to pause and look up the address again and where exactly it is over there. 3 minutes from my house.
Are you working on anything interesting right now?
Say that again. I can't hear you as well.
Are you working on anything interesting right now?
Well, I'm working to try to finish the archaeology book, illustrated kids book. And now we're going on to the big highway, but the big highway. So there it is. That's what the big highway looks like in Somerset. It's such an interesting radio show. So I'm working on that. I don't have any big projects. I'm working quick 3-4 nights a week to measure money because it slow getting book projects in and stuff like that. Patriot Prop Apparel launched.
How'd their launch date?
But this week they're starting the guerrilla marketing tactics with all that we have going on. So, by the way, here's Wisconsin for you guys. Wisconsin.
How did their launch day go? Did we lose him? We may have lost him, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was interesting. Now we won't be able to add him back in because I can't add anyone in. So all we can do is sit and chat. Let's see, who do we have in the chat room here? Susie Q is here, and Morgan's here, and Carlene is here, and Sean is here. Bunch of people out lurking that haven't really commented. Don't be lurkers. Get in the chat room and join the group. Kristen's there. On her way to celebrate her birthday. Again, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day today. I don't see Field Guy. Field Guy, where are you? Oh, there you are. What are you up to today? Who else is back here? Well, we will just have to keep the home fires burning until Scotty gets on, because it'll be a while now. Anyhow, I've been working on some paintings, and they're coming along, but I've been sick for a couple of weeks, and I just haven't been motivated to paint. I might actually get brushes out today and work, and so that's good. Haven't done that for a while, and we need to. Got a film offer on the table for me to head out west, and that's the big thing, is the time commitment that's going to take, and I have to have somebody here to take care of my parents while I'm gone. So I'm trying to figure that out. But the money would be totally sweet. I'll make, just going out to work on the pilot, I'll make a year's income in about 2 weeks. That's what I miss about the film industry, is the money. The work might be sparse between gigs, but when it comes in, you get paid well. And so I will do the pre-production work here, get everything set, make trips back and forth to Vegas, which is where they want to shoot, and then when we go into production, it'll be 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks of long hard days where you're doing anywhere from, well, a base rate of 10-hour days, but usually 10-hour days are really 12 to 14-hour days. Not unlikely to see 16-hour days, and I've done 20-hour days on a production before. So, and the reality is, when you're not on set, you're still working mentally. You're working on what you're going to do the next day, and how to solve this problem that's coming up in 2 days, or whatever it is. So you're on. Once you take production, you're pretty much on 24/7 till the thing is done. And at least that's the way I work. So that's a huge commitment for me time-wise, because being gone from here for 2 weeks, not only do I have to make enough for me, but I have to make enough for somebody to pay somebody full-time to be here and take care of mom and dad. And that's the hard part of it, is having somebody that can be here, and 90% of the day you're sitting in a chair doing whatever you want to do, but it's that other 10% of the day that's really demanding. And so, and it has to be somebody that they will get along with, and has to be somebody that they will trust, and it's pretty intimate care, so you can't just be just anyone. So yeah, I got to figure that out, because it's really hard to turn down that money. And this film is a pilot for a web series, and if the investors like it enough, then they're going to pick up and do the series, and then I would move from whatever chair I'm doing on the pilot into a director's chair, and be one of 5 directors roughly, and then we would rotate through episodes, and at that point pretty much have to move back to Vegas. So I got to figure out, that's a lot to take in right now. It's more than I'm able to take in mentally right now. So I'm just taking it in little pieces, solving specific production problems and stuff at the moment, and then we'll work into directing. Once I get into the director's chair, then that's a totally different thing too, because then each episode that I'm doing becomes an all-consuming thing for a number of weeks, and then you move on to the next episode that you're going to be directing. So it's leapfrogging with other directors through the production schedule. And my experience in that is, you're not just working on your episode, because there will always be questions that need to be answered that maybe the other guy doesn't have the answer to and you do. And so production wise, you're kind of working on everything as they're working on everything as well. So it's a team effort, and you're doing your own thing, but you're also part of the team in the big production, making sure everything is rolling smooth and storylines are staying straight from episode to episode and all that, and then nobody's doing anything that's going to throw a wrench into somebody else's episode and stuff. The producer that's heading this up, the creator of it, he and I are fraternity brothers from college, and we're part of the same theater department, and we have a hope of bringing in a lot of that old crew from our theater group. We had an amazing team when we were in college, and there wasn't anything we couldn't do. we were interestingly spread out through the production field. We had people that were focused on directing. We had people that were focused on various tech aspects. We had people that were writers and stuff. And we'd all get together and work on projects all the time. And we worked well together. And we put a lot of shows up. And it was a glorious time to be in school. So that is for sure. It was amazing the stuff that we pushed out through our theater. And our theater kept a pretty busy schedule. We had 4 main stage shows a year, plus we had a little black box theater, and we ran shows out of there every year. And there were at least 4 shows out of there a year. Plus we had a repertory company in the summer, which did 4 shows, where you're basically doing 4 shows at the same time, where you do a show on Friday, then drop that set, put another set up, do a different show on Saturday, drop that set, put a different show up on Sunday, and then we would travel to another town, and the 4th show would be the opening show, and then we would rotate through and travel to another town and continue that every week, all summer long. And that was an amazing time. So in the repertory company, you were teching a show, you were acting in a show, you were doing production staff on a show, and you were supposed to have 1 show off. I didn't have 1 show off because I headed the theater or the prop department, and because I was head of the prop department, I had my hand in everything. So there was always something to be done, and it was a good time. I was prolific in theater when I was young. I started acting and getting involved in theater when I was super young, 10-ish, 11-ish, and I wanted to get started earlier, and that was the deal I made with my parents. I would wait until I was that old, and I launched into it. And by the time I graduated college, I had been in or on over 400 stage productions. So that was a lot. And then I launched into doing film work and did that. So I've got a long history of theater and film behind me. And there are a lot of people that are much older than I am that don't have that many credits under their name. So it is what it is. Scotty should have Ellery in the car by now, and they should be on their way back. Anyhow, so I'm looking at this whole Vegas thing and trying to decide if that's the direction I'm going to go. My friend, so we all went out to LA for a while. We were out there when we were younger, and he stayed out there, and eventually moved to Vegas years later and was working production there and stuff. But he worked on Babylon 5, and he worked on some other shows, and he's gifted in his own right in many, many ways. And he's also a great writer. And so yeah, he wrote the original project that this series is based on. I'm being very loosey-goosey with it because I'm under an NDA and I can only say so much. So beyond the broad stroke of the brush, I can't really get into details about what it's about or anything like that. But he wrote the original project, and it was done as a stage show, and wanted to get it off the ground as a film, and went through a number of different incarnations to try and do that. And we've had money behind it before to do it as a film, and then he sort of wrote a prequel, which is what this is, kind of a prequel leading to that. And this has taken on some legs and is going someplace. And we have some big names that have thrown money in on this project already and stepped up behind it and think that this is the thing. So we'll see where that goes. And of course, I have an alarm going on. See if I can do this without killing the show. Okay. That is the question. I don't know where the show is now. Ugh. That's not good. Am I still there? Oh, I appear to be. Good. Phew. I was concerned there for a minute that had dumped it, but nope, it's still there. So anyhow, that's where that is. What's going on in the chat room? Carlene was at the beach last weekend. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that it's finally warm enough for such thing. I'm so tired of having cold days here and snow and cold nights and just ridiculous. Good morning, Chad, wherever Chad is. I'm having coffee on the back deck. Well, that's awesome, Sean. And Chris, okay, that we already read that one. So, and I don't know where Field Guy is. I mean, he was here, and he said he's not going to work today, but I don't see him really. He hasn't been in the chat room since way earlier this morning. So I don't know what he's up to. So anyways, that's my life in a nutshell right now. Looking at doing this film thing, and we'll see what happens with that. It would be good money. That is for sure. Now, let's see. Scotty, by his timeline, should be on his way back by now, but he's probably still on the highway, I would guess. I am half surprised that somebody hasn't wandered down to the studio to see what's going on. But so anyhow, that's what I've been up to. Can't really ask you people questions because you can't answer me. It's frustrating. So I don't know. I hadn't planned on getting up this morning and babbling on about anything. So it is a beautiful day here, though. I can tell you that. The woods out back are a glorious shade of yellowish green as the sunlight's pouring through them. I always love that. Those trees get studied an awful lot for paintings, I'll tell you that, because I see them in every light condition, every weather condition, foliage on and off. So they are and there's like 4 different breeds of trees in there. So I study them often with photographs, looking for things to throw into paintings. That is for certain. Ellery must be asking to go to McDonald's about now, because that's an Ellery thing. As long as we're out, we might as well stop at McDonald's on the way back. Those kids. anyhow, that's that. I guess I could show you the painting that I'm working on right now. That'll take some time up. Just laying in the base layers for reflections right now. We're just getting started. I've started doing the underpainting of the reflections down here, and there'll be some more detailed things. I've laid in one of these branches here, and then I'll do some more detailed stuff in it, and then throw water reflection more over that. And there's going to be some waterfowl up in here, and there's going to be a large bush here in the foreground, and some wild wheat growing over here in the near foreground, and the water line going off about this direction. And there may be a duck up here. There's going to be some deer over in here, and possibly off in the distance in the sky, a little V of waterfowl flying off. So it's kind of what we're doing. And there's more detail. These are underlaying leaves, and I have to go in the foreground and do some more detailed layered leaves and such. So there's oil painting. It's all about layers, layers and layers and layers, and it takes time. And when you're doing water reflection, I have to use a lot of linseed oil to create that blurring effect. And so you lay in heavy linseed oil and all that, and that creates the problem of drying time, so that even though you're doing light layers, the linseed keeps the oils wet for a long time. So you're a good week between painting on that. And whereas when I'm doing some of the other layers, and I can use a different medium, and there's some that are faster drying than others, and so I do faster drying mediums when I can, just to get layers down and then paint over them, and then get layers down and paint over those, and continue on. And so yeah, it's an endless thing of dropping in layers and getting the under layers of the water looking right, and then laying things in and then painting water over them so that those things look like they're under the water, and such. And it's just layers upon layers upon layers. It's crazy. There's a guy out there, and I was watching his work, and he does layers in such a way that when he's painting fish, he'll paint the fish and then do water layers over him. When he's all done, it's as though you're looking down through the water at fish that are swimming on the bottom. It's crazy cool, crazy cool. But yeah, not my thing. So working on that, trying not to push the leave button by accident, because I'm screwed if I do that. I can't get back in. So anyway, yeah, that's the painting I'm working on right now. I've got three that need to get put back up on easels to work on, that they've been curing a while, so I could work on different layers. And one of those is the Rembrandt portrait I'm working on. I need to get that out and start doing more layers on that again. And so that might be something that happens this week, because then I'll have 3 or 4 out and working on again. When you're only working on one painting at a time, it's a time-consuming thing. You get 3 or 4 that you're working on at the same time, then you can get a lot more accomplished, because you can move from painting to painting to painting while others are drying. But I bought this awesome new easel, but it takes up a considerable amount of room, and the other easels, the tripod easels I use, I can get 2 or 3 in a small area, and this takes up that area. So I have to rethink how I do my studio to still have room to pull the Murphy bed down at night and sleep, because apparently my body wants to sleep once in a while. So I think that's how I got sick in the first place, is ignoring stuff like that. But anyhow, that is the life of an artist. So, and I would think Scotty is back across the bridge by this point, and should be on his way back to the house, if he hasn't been talked into going to McDonald's first by the little one. And that's entirely possible, because I know her. So anyway, so working on that painting, and I'm not really launching into anything new right at the moment, though I should. I've got a whole bunch of others in another series that I need to get started on, and I put all that stuff on hold when this film thing came out, because I had to shift gears mentally and put my brain into a new project, and I've been working on that and haven't really launched into all the stuff that I was working on previous to that. So yeah, that's that. Oh, you people come into the chat room. If you chat once in a while, then because I got nothing new in the chat room unless my chat's not advancing for some reason. Appears to be in the live chat mode. But not a lot of chat going on, from what I can see. I don't know why. And the downside about StreamYard is that literally it's putting you into a new program, and so you can't from StreamYard see the chat. So I have another device that's open in YouTube so I can see our chat room, and we're gonna have to figure that out when everything moves to Patreon, how we're gonna keep the chat heads going. We'll have to kind of figure that out. We're gonna have to chat someplace. So, hey, there's Ellie Belly. So Scott's back. How are you, sweetheart? Ellery, say something. You're not talking. I can't hear you. Scotty must have muted that mic before he left.
There she goes.
Hi.
Oh, there. Now I can hear you.
Now you can hear her. Yeah, my thumb hit a button on the drive and turned it all off, and I couldn't reconnect.
That's all right.
There was nobody to bring me in. Okay.
I almost did the same thing because I had an alarm go off while you were gone.
Oh, oops.
And I'm like, I have to leave this screen to kill the alarm. And
I
then
didn't bring Field Guy in. If he tried to call in, I was already gone. So, hi.
I'm going to Clear Lake.
Okay,
Maddie.
bye. I'll see you. Have fun.
Did she try and talk you into go to McDonald's?
No.
No,
Where's Clear
but
Lake?
I'm gonna take you and Ellery to Chinese for lunch. Oh, you're gonna
I'm
be
going to Clear
gone.
Lake.
Oh, you're gonna be at the lake. So I'll just take Ellery.
Where's Clear Lake?
I don't know.
Is it clear?
What do you have to walk?
No. Is it clear?
Yeah, I suppose. Or it once was when they named it.
Yeah, it might not be anymore.
Yeah, all depends. So we'll think of you when we're having Chinese and you're at the lake. Basking in the sun. Aw.
You don't really care for Chinese food, do you?
No.
I'm with Maddie, Reese, AJ, and probably some other.
There's gonna be boys with you?
We're going with her cousins.
Oh, okay.
I have a boyfriend. It's fine.
Yeah, I've got a boyfriend.
They're her cousins, not your cousins. That's
yeah,
what
yeah, not your cousin. We don't live in Appalachia.
I don't like
All right. I love you. Have fun.
Love you, sweetie. Bye bye. Have fun. See you. Bye bye.
Dude. All right. So we're back in the saddle.
All right.
So yeah, that kind of worked. I hope it wasn't too
I'm sure it was boring. I just rambled on about the
scintillating live
film
radio.
project and rattled on about the painting, and
all right.
I don't know.
Tell us some good movie stories, says Ryan Gale. What kind of movie stories, Ryan?
Yeah.
What are you thinking of? What's on your mind? You mean movies we've watched, movies we've been in?
Where did Ryan write that? Because I'm not. My
Not
chat
too far
does
back.
not show any of that.
There's no timestamp. Oh, yeah, there's a timestamp.
it.
Ryan, 10:11 a.m. at 11 minutes after. So 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I was in a short.
See, and I don't.
film.
Something's going on because it's not advancing the chat. or
Uh-oh.
something.
Well, sometimes nobody's making any comments. So,
Well, that's what I thought. But
hey, if you're out there, roll call. If you're out there and you're in the
Oh.
chat room,
now
say
it's
something
doing
real
it.
quick.
Now it just updated and just
Oh,
dumped a
now
whole
it
bunch of
updated.
stuff.
so there you go. So it's a gorgeous day outside again. It's
Yeah,
like 72
everybody's-
to 74 right now, which means it's going to be
Nobody wants to be on the
warmer.
radio. Everybody's outside.
not a cloud in the sky, bright sun.
Gorgeous.
Can it actually be the days that are you get two different days that are both no clouds in the sky, but the sun is brighter some days? It just seems really bright, like the sun is real close today or something. I don't know. It seems awfully bright because yesterday all day, when we'd go outside, it's like, oh man, that sun is really bright today.
Did you have a good time, Ellie?
Hey Ellie, Uncle Dave asked you a question.
What?
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
What'd you do? What all did you do?
Pool was the best.
Pool was the best. They're shooting pool.
Oh.
My kid's gambling at the pool hall again. So, when I do the phone on StreamYard, I can see chat and everything, says Field Guy.
How do you do that?
Oh, I don't know.
I was complaining because when I'm on StreamYard, I lose the chat and everything.
Lake is better, says Randall Flag, than Chinese. Yeah, I would agree. So,
Yeah, I was saying that when you go on the StreamYard, I lose the chat because it's a separate program, and boom, all I have is whoever's on in the broadcast.
yeah. So, Dave, you want to join us for Chinese after the show?
I can't.
Yeah, you're only an hour and a half to 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So,
And I've got parents to look after.
yes. Oh, that's true. That's true.
Like that, I was saying
Dave
that's
movie
the
stories.
hardest.
Ryan Gale says Dave movie stories.
I don't even know where to start.
Just pick one and go.
My God, we did this film out in West Virginia, Bethany, West Virginia. Early
Bethany, West Virginia.
90s. And it was a weird thing because I was on the Renaissance circuit. I was doing a show, trying to think where I was. I was in Texas doing Scarborough Fair. And
Are you going to Scarborough Fair?
And so this is pre-cell phone days. So I had a pager so that my folks would send me the number to page them, right? So I get a number from my mom to page her. And so I go up to the payphone and I call her to see what's going on. And she's like, hey, I read this article in this church paper and they're shooting a movie in West Virginia and it's about the founding of the church, blah, blah, blah. And you should go there and work on that. And I'm like, well, okay, it doesn't work like that. I don't just show up someplace on location and say I'm here to work.
Right.
You know?
I'm here.
and she says, well, they're going to start shooting in like a week. You should call this number and see if they have any work for you. And I'm like, well, okay, Mom, if they're coming from LA, which they were coming from LA, Hollywood crew, and they're going to West Virginia. They're not going to go out there and not have filled their positions yet. It just doesn't work that way. And so I get off the phone. What does my mom do? She calls the production company.
Oh, my son.
Yeah. And then she pages me back. So I go back to the payphone. What? And she goes, I talked to them and they need people with your skills. Call this number. And I'm like, oh my God, you do not call this. But I call the number. And sure enough, they don't have a set dresser. They don't have a property master. And they're going to be starting shooting in like 3 days' time.
Hey, just
like,
pause for 1 second. Hey, Heather White, different Heather. This is my friend for many years over in Scotland, Heather White.
Hey, Heather.
How you doing, lassie?
A grand day here and a grand day to see you.
And that's right. You got to roll your R's right. If you're speaking Glasgowian, and Heather, take no offense. We're just goofing around, but isn't Glasgowian? I can say, oh, Dave, you doss cunt. Welcome to the show. You should call in, Heather. We want to hear your real accent.
Yeah, we'd love that.
A real Scottish Glasgowian accent.
Nothing makes me happier than a Scottish lass.
Yes.
Anyway,
anyway, Dave, sorry.
So I call this production company and they're like, yeah, we're going to start shooting in 3 days and we could use you. And so, okay. And
by the way, we were kind of halfway there with our accents, she said. kind of half there.
So I literally go to the director and say, hey, I'm going to leave the show early. I got this film gig, blah, blah, blah. I got to be in West Virginia in 3 days. He's like, hey, have a great time. Lets me out of my contract, writes me my final check. And I take everything I own in my tent, shove it into an Army duffel bag I have,
nice.
Pack up my whole camp, throw it all in the back of the station wagon. And I've got all these good old boys down in Texas, and they're like, now you're going to go through Tennessee. You don't stop in Tennessee. You got Minnesota plates.
In Tennessee?
You fill up before you get to Tennessee, drive through Tennessee, and they're just giving me the instructions.
You don't let the gas station attendant know you'd really like to have some barbecue. Just keep rolling. Fill gas up before you hit Tennessee.
So I get in the car and I drive, but I drive basically straight through from Texas to West Virginia. Just outside of Wheeling, I get a flat tire, and I literally have to unload the car to get at the thing. And then
I think that's how Tennesseans get you into Tennessee. They set road traps to give you flat tires.
Anyway, I've got locking hubnut. The hubcap has locking lug nuts on it, and I don't have the key. I'm like, damn it!
No,
but I've already unpacked everything to get at the spare and get at the thing. Finally, a tow truck happens by. He stops. Explain the situation. He's like, not a problem. He's able to get the lug nuts off. Gets my spare on for me, the little mini spare. And we get the car all loaded back up. And he's a really cool guy. Just give me $20. And I give him $20. And he's on his way. And I'm on my way. I show up at the production office. So we're shooting in Bethany, West Virginia at this college there. And they've it's summertime, so the kids are all gone. They've turned certain dorm rooms into rooms for us to sleep in, and taken some building and turned it into a production office for us and such. And I pull up in front of this big Gothic building about 10:30 o'clock at night, and a thunderstorm's right on the verge. So my first vision as I get out of the car, this lightning strike happens behind the building, silhouetting this Gothic building that is, I mean, Gothic architecture.
You're like, you get out of the car and you're like, West Virginia.
It looks like, so the guy that built this university is from Scotland, and so he this main building is built in a very Scottish Gothic style, right? And it's like this 1200s-year-old castle looking sort of building, backlit by lightning, just as I'm like, well, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Mm.
It was so ominous, like. And then I go to the production office. There's still some people there. I check in, and we have to be on set super early in the morning, and so I get my room assignment and kind of get a copy of the script and all that kind of basic stuff. And I'm like, is there anything we don't have for tomorrow's shoot? And they kind of give me the rundown on that. And I'm like, okay, we can deal with that tomorrow. Is there anything that you're absolutely lacking? And they're like, we need period china. And I said, well, it should be a white china with a blue print for the time period that's set in. And I said, you couldn't find anything locally? And they were like, no, we couldn't find anything locally. So I pick up the phone and call home, because we have this china sitting in a cupboard in the house. And I said, I need all this stuff boxed up. I need it overnighted. Tomorrow you got to go straight to FedEx. It's got to be overnighted. I have to have it by such and such a day.
Bigger than mine.
And so I had them send the tea service. I had them send, I think 4 of everything as far as plates and all that stuff. And it was perfect. And the producer was there and went, oh, well, you're definitely hired, because it was like,
nice china.
I solved their. I mean, and it was just doing what I do. I didn't think of it as I said, oh, okay, I know where to get that, and they've been racking their brain for days how they were going to deal with this, because they have this formal dinner in this film. And there's 2 or 3 times where the tea service is used. And
did they not have a budget to go to the store and get a tea?
They couldn't find. And I'm like, how can you be in West Virginia and not find
a China
china? Yeah, I didn't. But
even a
whatever.
fake one, even a kid's porcelain China tea set on film, you can make it look real. So.
Yeah. So anyway, that kind of singed the deal. And then I took over and just did what I do, I remember there was at one point they had the guy we're doing the film on, he steps outside to pump some water and fill a pitcher, right? And there is a pump there, but it's not hooked up to anything, doesn't work. And so they're trying to figure out how they're going to do this.
You ran a hose up into it?
Well, what I did is I ran a hose up the back side of it, because it was set into the ground and we couldn't move the pump.
There you go.
But I ran a hose up, took stovepipe wire, wired it so it was out of frame, and curved it around so that it's lined up with the thing. And then I'm sitting on the ground out of frame over at the faucet on the side of the building. And I explained to him because some young kid from California doesn't know anything about how a hand pump works, So I explained to him how you have to prime the pump. You pump it 2 or 3 times. It's going to eventually sputter. Then you get a full pump and you push down. It's going to let out a full sprig. You do that a couple of times before you put your jug under it, because you want to get all the crud out before you're actually taking the water you're going to take.
Sure.
And so I'm over there on the side of the building, and he does the pump, and there's nothing. And he does it again, and I do a little on off and give a little spurt, and then do another little spurt, and then give it a longer run, and then and I'm doing this time to kill, moving the pump up and down, and on camera it looks like he pumps the water right out of the ground. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There was another place where they wanted to have him lighting a fire. Well, the fireplaces in the mid 1800s were all bricked up, because they went to coal or heating and stuff like that, and had different kind of heating, so they weren't using the fireplaces anymore.
Sure.
And but they wanted a fire in this fireplace, so I said, okay, We got porcelain logs, and so had those set in there. And I took strips of leather and soaked them in lamp oil, and then laid them in
Nice.
various places around the porcelain logs, so
Very
that
nice.
he could light the strips of leather, and it looked like fire.
Like he was burning the logs.
Right. What you didn't see is it's kicking off a weird black smoke that somehow didn't really catch on the camera. It doesn't really show up, but we had to every once in a while put them out and re-soak them, and black smoke's kind of rolling up the front of the because it's not going up a chimney because there's no chimney.
Yes.
But thank God it didn't pick up because it was a night scene or something. It didn't, the way the lighting was, it didn't catch that smoke really. So you weren't seeing it, but you did have the flame, and it looked like there was fire in the fireplace, and so that worked.
Yeah.
Lots of little things like that I did to make this period film work for him. One of the things is there was a kid that was working as the caretaker for the historic house, and this kid's penmanship was like straight out of the 1700s. He would do this pen and ink work, and he did 3 or 4 different styles of penmanship. It was some of the most amazing calligraphy I'd ever seen.
Nice.
And so I just gave him a stack of parchment and said, just write me a whole bunch of letters and write me up some sheets, like accounting sheets for the stores for the house and things like that, right? And cluttered this guy's desk with paperwork and stuff, and it was amazing. And the curator for the mansion was like, "Where did you get all this?" I said, "Your caretaker did it for me."
Nice.
He's like, "What?" So
do this?
when we got done, they had me come in and redress. So they were in the process of remodeling this mansion, and which is why they allowed the film crew in, because they figured if we broke anything, the following spring it would get redone with the remodel.
Mm-hmm.
And so they called me back when they were done with the remodel to come out and dress the mansion as though it was currently being lived in, because they liked what I had done in the film so much, from room to room.
That's cool.
So then I went back out and just dressed the mansion from head to toe.
Nice. So you proved your worth.
I did prove my worth on that film. That's also that production company. So the Jeannie, who was the producer, her husband. So all this group were part of the original cast of Godspell.
Okay.
Her husband, David Haskell, played the lead. Okay. And their best friend, Gilmer and Stephen. Stephen wrote the music, and Gilmer played the character. Gilmer was written about her in Godspell, and so they're all part of the founding cast.
All right.
And so when we finished, they're like, "Oh, you got to come out to Hollywood." And Jeannie's like, "Yeah, I do a lot of after-school specials, and you should come on out, and we'll give you work." And shortly thereafter, she called me, and she's working on an after-school special. I jump in the car, I drive to LA. I get there, and she's like, "Oh, I'm manic depressive, and I've slipped into a depressive state, and I've just put everything on hold for right now." And I'm like, "Oh, no. I said, I totally understand, and I'm on an upswing. So
Nice.
I can't just not have work now. I drove all the way from Minnesota. What are you talking about?"
Nice.
But that was kind of cool. I got to hang with all that group of people.
That's kind of neat, being able to walk into a movie set and make yourself worth hiring.
What's really weird about that? So I had my flat tire. In the 2 weeks we were there, we had 19 flats within the production company.
Whoa.
There were only 25 of us in the production company. The film was called Wrestling with God, and I'm telling you, there were every manner of trial and tribulation for us while shooting this film.
Nice.
On one night, we're shooting this cabin, and we're there, and we get there about 8:30. We're setting up the lights, and they decide they want a 12K mounted up to create moonlight coming through these trees.
Yes.
Call down to the guy who's the driver for the grip truck. Okay. Now, he has to drive the grip truck down a road, maybe 200 feet.
Keep talking. I can hear you from the other room. I'm going to go fill my cup.
Maybe 200 feet, turn onto a covered bridge, cross that bridge, and on the base of the other side, unload this light. So 300 feet tops he has to drive. He gets in the car or the truck, and we never see him again. Now, he just disappears. The truck disappears. Nobody has any idea where he's at. We're trying to reach him on radio. It's really scratchy. He's confused.
They found him in 1947.
Well, seriously, now listen to this. He couldn't find the bridge. He was only a couple 100 feet away from it.
Oh, I remember this story.
Couldn't find the bridge. And he's lost on some country road. We can hear him slightly on the radio, but we're not getting good reception. Super scratchy, and then he just drops off.
I'm flying the trees.
Just totally disappears, right?
Yeah.
We're all freaked out, and the grips are all pissed off. We don't, and he's like a trustworthy guy. He had come from Florida up with a grip truck full of equipment. He worked on Burt Reynolds' show, Evening Shade, or whatever it was called back then.
Yes.
And we were on the East Coast. The producers were looking for grip equipment on that side. Somebody knew somebody at that production, contacted them, and Burt said, take one of our grip trucks, load it up with whatever they need, and drive up there and help those folks. No charge. This is how cool Burt Reynolds is. Okay.
That's cool.
So we were like, well, he's a professional. He's not just some local they had. We're like really confused, right?
Yes.
So we do without the 12K. We do the shoot. We get things done. We get it was one of the weirdest. We had problems with weather the whole time we were there. This is a rain shot. Of course, it's clear and sunny that night. So,
of course.
Well, clear night, not sunny. So we had to make rain. We had to bring a fire truck in. They thought we were crazy. It had been raining for a week. and the only decent night they had, we had to come out and have them make rain for us.
Of course.
And it was the only night we needed rain in the shot.
Right.
Everything else, the rain was a problem. I'm just like, whatever.
Every night except, hey, it's going to be a beautiful shoot. We'll have rain tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing.
So anyway, we get this shot finally. We get it all done. We finish around 1 a.m. We get everything packed up in other vehicles because all the grip stuff can't go back into the grip truck because the grip truck's missing. And thank God one of the other guys there had a hitch on his pickup and could tow the generator because it's normally towed behind the grip truck. And the next day, we get a call from Wheeling, West Virginia. He's in Wheeling, and he slept in the truck. He has no idea how he got to Wheeling and stuff, and he gets directions to get back to where we're at.
How far is Wheeling?
I don't know, 40 some miles, 50 miles. But it was weird because he's like, there was no bridge. I pulled forward and the bridge wasn't there, and the road went this other direction, and I'm following the road thinking, well, the bridge got to be right up here. And he said there was this weird fog and all this stuff, and we're like,
boy.
It was freaky because it was
and I've only been gone for 20 minutes.
He had no concept of how he got to where he was. He just all of a sudden he was in town. And it was freaky.
That's a weird
and none
story.
Of us could hear the truck or see the truck, and we should have been able to see it from the cabin because it literally just at the base of the hill was the road, and all he had to do was roll forward a few hundred feet to unload this heavy piece of equipment.
Weird.
Yeah, it was the strangest effing thing I'd ever seen. This is also the film where there was, boy, I can't tell you how many ghost stories came out of this one set for me. I had so many experiences. This is where I had my experience. I talk about often the big gothic room that they put me in. So I get there at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and then I go upstairs to this
This is your
gothic
bedroom.
dorm. Yeah, and down the hall, and they open this door, and you walk in, and it was this large rectangular room. One side was just walled with gothic windows that were so that the little leaded glass panes, little squares, okay, that were about 4-inch squares, and the windows were about 2 panes wide and floor to ceiling with gothic arches at the top. So it's just a wall of a big giant series of gothic arches, right, with these leaded windows,
right,
and then maybe 6 beds on that wall and 4 beds on the door wall, and then there was a door at the one end of the room, right? Just big rectangular room. It was really weird.
Yes.
But I'm thinking, well, it was the 17 and 1800s. So they probably did rooms like this. You'd have so many young men in a room, and my brain's, trying to make sense of this room, and so I throw the duffel bag down, and I'm exhausted because I've been driving for 2.5 days,
Right.
and I lay myself down in this bed, and I always say that I slept like I was sedated. It was that I was out like a light, and didn't hear anything that night. Of course, it's lightning outside, so my first visual, I walk into the room, the lights are off, lightning illuminates the room through these gothic arches. So and I find the light switch, and I turn the lights on, and I crash. Lights on. And I wake up in the morning, and there's a door at the end of the room, and I'm thinking, well, that must be the bathroom. And I walk in there, and another large rectangular room, maybe 10 by 20 feet, maybe 12 by 20 feet, something. It's a fairly good sized room. It's white tile floors, white tile walls, and white tiled ceiling. And there's some sort of thing built into the wall next to the sink, and then there's a stall and a toilet.
Okay.
And I'm like, this huge room, I want a floor drain. And huge tiled room, and only one toilet in the corner, and a sink. And I'm like, well, why is this bathroom so huge? It's huge. and there's no shower. You have this huge giant room, and there's no shower here. So I do my business, and I turn the water on in the sink. And it's weird. Okay, I have to add that as I'm walking towards this room in the morning, there's this sense of dread that's coming over me. It's palpable, right?
Yeah.
And it's as though and especially as I enter this room, it's as though someone's taken a wet blanket and just laid it over my. So there's weight to it, right? And every step into this room is more and more dreadful. And I do my business, and I turn the sink on, and I'm gonna shave, and I put my razor on the edge of the sink, and I turn the water on, and in my mind's eye, that water turns to blood and is just pouring blood down the drain. And I'm looking at this, and I'm feeling this dense sense of dread, and I'm kind of looking around this white tiled room, and what appears,
we will haunt you.
Yeah, with like blood circling into the drain. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave my beard. I'm not gonna shave. Turn the water off, and I was told that there's
blood in the sink. I think we'll not shave today.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way. because I'm having this vision of blood pouring down. Like, I'm not bringing a razor to my throat.
Yeah.
And so there's
Who would?
another bathroom, I'm told, at the end of the hall, and it has a shower. So when I was checked in that night, they told me that. So I grab my towel and my shampoo, and I head down the hall. Okay. Now, mind you, I haven't unpacked anything. I haven't done anything with my duffel bag. I just had tossed it on the floor. And I go down the hall and I take a shower. And this is like a normal bathroom. You walk in and there's an antique claw-footed tub with a shower and a sink and another toilet, right? Normal sized. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's a bathroom. And so I go in, I take my shower, I do all that, and I decide, okay, I'm going to shave because I don't have any of that sense. So I clean up my beard and make myself look a little more presentable because I was super scruffy. I'd been on the Renaissance circuit for quite a while. And so I make myself look presentable, head back to my room, and there on the bed next to mine is one of my sweatshirts neatly folded, a pair of pants neatly folded, a pair of socks, a pair of underwear, all this stuff laid out and neatly folded on the bed.
You sure you didn't do that?
Oh, I know I didn't do that.
Okay.
So the sweatshirt that is there is the sweatshirt that I keep at the bottom of the duffel bag. So when I'm on the Renaissance circuit and I'm doing stuff, at the end of the week when I've gone through my laundry, I get to this sweatshirt and I put that on to go to the laundromat. It's an old fraternity sweatshirt that when I was in the theater department, I had spilt AB foam on. You know, I'm mixing foam and I had spilt it, and I had this, so it's this crusted stain that's on that's infused with the fabric, and so it looks like crap.
Clean now.
Well, it's not clean, but it's I always kept it at the bottom of the duffel bag, and I only wore it on laundry day, right? So it was at the very bottom of the duffel bag of everything that I had shoved in the car before I left. Okay. Nothing had been washed. Certainly nothing was folded or pressed or rolled. It was all just crammed in as fast as I could cram it. And that's the sweatshirt that's neatly laid out there and folded. It's still dirt. I mean, it's still got the stain on it, but that's what's laid out. And I'm looking at all those clothes and thinking, I am not wearing any of that stuff. How did that get there?
Like William Shatner would say in his show that's on one of the channels, weird or what?
Or what? So I open up the duffel bag, which again, it's an army duffel bag with you have the clip and the long elongated ring that goes through all the different eyelets. And I open that up and I pull out completely different clothes and get dressed and take all that stuff off the bed and put it back in the duffel bag. And
to be warned when I'm not in the haunted house.
Yeah. The costumer's across the hall from me. So I knock on her door and I said, hey, weird question. Did you lay clothes out for me this morning? She looks at me like I'm crazy. She goes, I don't lay clothes out for the actors. I'm not going to lay clothes out for the crew. No, I'm not asking. Because I came back from the shower and there were clothes laid out for me on my bed. And she's like, are you in 205? Yeah, I am in 205. She goes, I spent a night in 205. And that's it. She goes, oh, we have to go. And I'm like,
in a way, that's kind of neat. Did you go back to your room that night and go, thank you for laying out my clothes?
No, I didn't.
A very kind person.
I was rather freaked out by it. And so
I'll bet.
So we go to the production meeting. I meet everybody. We're sitting and talking, and we go to breakfast. And we're at breakfast, and I'm talking to somebody, and I'm telling them this story. And they go, are you in 205? Yeah, I am in 205. And they're like,
why did they put you there?
And he goes, I spent a night in 205. And that's where he gets up and leaves my table. Nice. And I'm like, okay, what's going on?
We don't talk about 205.
And they had been there for maybe a week before I got there. There were at least 3 other people that claimed to have spent a night in 205.
Did you ever get the skinny on 205?
So I sit down with one of the profs at lunchtime, somebody who's a professor at the place, and I said, "Okay, give me the rundown on room 205." And he chuckled. They put you in 205 this time. And I'm like, yes, they put me in 205. So 205,
Sounds
when
like a
when
prank.
the
Says
when the
Randall.
university, well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, they've set me up.
Yep.
Okay. When the university was first operational, they were a long ways from a hospital or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So Alexander Campbell, who founds the university, he thinks we'll have a really nice infirmary here at the university to take care of all of our staff and students. 205 is what they called the ward.
The
So when you
ward.
were sick or you had some ailment, you stayed
went to
in 205. So
205.
which is why it's the shape it is, why the beds are the way they are, because it was the hospital. Okay.
People died there.
The room that I thought was the bathroom that they've converted into a bathroom for students that stay in 205 was the operating room.
Nice.
Hence
the blood in the sink.
the sense of dread, hence the visual mind's eye image of
Sure.
blood going down the sink. What I thought was a towel steamer built into the wall was a sterilizer
Nice.
for instruments that had been built into the wall. Yeah. So that sense of sleeping like I was sedated, that feeling like somebody was caretaking, probably a nurse or something, that, I don't know. It was the most bizarre experience because
Well, let's get Heather's take on this. Heather said she would call in after Dave's quality
call in now.
story.
Call in now.
Says after
Don't wait
Dave's
for me.
quality story. While we're waiting for her to call, I'm going to show you a 20-second video. Heather took this last night. Different Heather. My Heather over here. My Heather. Look, I just claimed her. My friend Heather over here versus my friend Heather over in Scotland.
We all have a Heather. Heather is my actual favorite Scottish name. I love that.
There we
name.
go. Let's see. Let me find this. This was just one she took last night at the Chicago concert after we got all set up. So here we go.
I brought to work with me.
Hey.
Put that on your talk show.
Yeah, I should.
Look, he made
I
it
hear
to
it.
Chicago
Well,
today.
it's coming. I think.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Good job. It's her company that sets us all up.
There's Heather.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Look who I brought to work with me.
Hey. Oh, okay.
Put that on your talk
So there you go. That's it. That was yesterday.
Very
And,
cool.
So
I'm glad you had
that out of
fun.
there. Yeah, we had a good time. I mean, it was work still, and
Yeah, but
Paid
it's
me well.
nice when you can have fun while you're working and
yeah. The fun part
do something
was
creative.
we
And
went we had about 7 to 8 hours to kill. She said we can all go back home. It's Hastings to Somerset, an hour drive, but
Yeah.
why? You're spending 2 hours driving to go back and forth. So what was this place called? Heather in Scotland, Heather White says madness about your story. And she said, what was this place called?
it is Bethany College in Bethany, West Virginia.
Bethany College. And Heather, the line is open for you to call
Yeah,
in.
call
I'll
in,
see
call
you
in.
pop in. Come on in for a couple of minutes before we wrap up for today.
So this prof said that's not unusual. There's a lot of haunted experiences around 205.
Okay.
But he says that's not the creepiest room. There's a room.
Oh, really?
There's a room up in what had been the woman's dorm. And he said, on a specific night every year, you hear a blood-curdling scream, actually 2 screams. The first scream sounds like a man. And then the second scream is a young woman. And then it's followed by a continuous week of sobbing sounds coming from this
Wow.
room. Okay. And then it goes silent. And it happens every year. Annually.
Wow. And still.
Okay. So the story is that during World War II, a sailor had come up from Wheeling to visit his girlfriend who was at the dorm.
Okay.
They'd gotten into an argument that night and he dropped her off, but men weren't allowed upstairs beyond the entryway, obviously, into the dorm.
As it should be in
Proper.
a girl's dorm.
That's proper. So she got mad and she stormed upstairs and just left him. He didn't want to go back to his ship with these bad feelings between them because he was truly sorry. Went around to the back side of the building. Now, the building is built on a hill. So what would be the first floor on the front side of the building is like the third or fourth floor on the back side of the building. And the building.
Hold on with your story. Heather is here. We'll bring her in live. Hey, Heather, here we go. Boom.
Oh, grand to see you.
There you go, lass. You're here with us now. The new.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm nervous because I don't like talking to people live, but I'm good.
You
fine.
sound good.
You're fine. You're just in a phone call with the two of us.
It's just us. Yeah, it's a conference call. That's all we got.
Maybe 5 or 6 other thousand people listening in.
Yeah,
No problem.
Only a wee 5 or 6,000. So
Certainly not more than the population of Edinburgh. You're fine. You're fine.
How's my Scottish accent this morning?
It's good. It's good.
Good. I have to listen to somebody from Scotland, and I picked those up. That's why
And
I'm
a
repeating.
fine bonny lass you are.
Aye, indeed.
It's so weird hearing you talk like that because I don't think I talk like that. So
Yeah.
You don't think you talk like that.
no,
I got no accent. You guys do.
Talking about there's only one accent. Not kidding.
So, what is it you do now? There's so much you do. You are an artist. You do fabulous portrait work.
Ooh,
you
really?
are also, you make cakes. She does cakes like that television show Cake Boss. You know, all these wild and
I'm a chef.
amazing
That's
cakes.
a gift. That's a gift to be able to do. I
is.
hire a pastry chef. I don't do my own pastry work.
Yeah, me too.
That's amazing.
My cakes end up looking like a mound of. It's like, how do you make the cake not fall apart, crumble? And and she also does. You were doing some like tiling work or something at one point.
Plastering I was doing,
Plastering.
but now now I'm a telecoms engineer, so I climb up and down poles all day.
Nice. Telephone engineer?
Yeah,
That's what you do now? Oh, wow, wild. And so your art, isn't that always the way though? Your art always comes
I'm going to step away
last.
from the camera for a
It's
minute.
like-
You guys chat.
Okay. I'll take you out, Dave. When I see you come back in, I'll bring you back. So it's always with your art, it always comes second. It's like I can't make a living doing my art yet, and so I got to work a job. So it's like people say, well, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm an artist, but I have to work over here climbing telephone poles to make ends meet.
That's it. It always comes back. I feel like it's never far away from the back of my mind,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't get time to do it all the time. But when I do, then I'm doing it.
Yeah. So how much time do you have to give to your art these days? You got 2 boys,
Not
and you
much.
got it's 2 boys, right? Only 2.
Yeah, 2 boys.
They
Four.
keep you busy.
Aye, constantly on my toes. We're probably
Yeah.
in a minute. Like, where are you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but don't get much time to do art at all. So,
See, we're going to show you how comfortable it is to talk on this show, and then you'll come back more.
no. Maybe.
Field guy says he's an aspiring millionaire.
Aye, same.
There you
Who
go.
isn't? Who isn't?
Who you got over there? Oh, I thought you were bringing somebody in.
Oh,
Oh, Kitty. There's Kitty.
Molly.
Randall Flagg says, hey, Kitty.
Meow.
He's been nosy.
Yeah. So are you right in Glasgow proper?
Well, I'm like less than 10 miles from the city
Okay.
centre. I'm in East Kilbride.
Okay. Now Glasgow is considered to be the Highlands, right?
I wouldn't
Or
say
is
so.
it?
No.
No,
I would
no.
say
Gateway to the Highlands or something. You go through. I drove through Glasgow once back in 1990, and
it's not like to get to Loch Lomond for here. It's only like 40 minutes or whatever. So
okay.
it's not that far. For the
You
start.
take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and I'll be the Loch Lomond.
Before ye.
Yeah, we'll let Dave finish that one.
So, but it's not far from here, and then it just keeps going, and you could go for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, we were coming from Inverness and drove down through the west there and
Right.
ended up in Glasgow. I go, oh, we're heading to Glasgow. Let's go through Glasgow. It seemed very industrial to me compared to other places we'd been.
I haven't been in Glasgow since 2001.
It's a bit rough, Glasgow. Like it's a nice place, but if you're looking for like a lovely town, city, I would go, definitely Edinburgh is like really pretty.
Yeah.
Glasgow, but
Well, what was Edinburgh was the crown city,
it's a beautiful place. Like,
So-
but it's expensive.
I'll bet. Just like any other big city.
Yeah.
Expensive
that's
to
true.
live in. And I saw some great videos of a guy walking around. He's on YouTube, and I can't think of his name. Jason Todd, I think. Jason or Jacob Todd. And he's a pagan, but he red beard, and he took time off, and he just went walking around Scotland and Great Britain, and he was in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
And so, do you say it Edinburgh? Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. There you go.
Edinburgh.
So,
Like my boyfriend, he said what was it he's called it? The way that you say Edinburgh.
yeah.
No, Edinburgh or something like.
Edinburgh. It's
Edinburgh.
Burgh. So people over here go, oh, are you from Edinburgh?
That's the way he says it. Like, you're so American.
So American. Yeah.
So American.
Edinburgh. Brr. You had
Edinburgh.
a little roll of your R in there too. Brr.
Edinburgh.
There you go.
Burra.
Brr.
Oh, somebody's coming.
Oh, all right.
It's hi. You want to come say hi?
You got a boy coming? Come on over and say hi.
Wee.
Hey, buddy.
This is Callum.
Hey, Callan.
Hello, lad.
I see your pictures all the time on your mom's Facebook.
He's a bit shy. Give him 2 minutes and he'll be
It's a bit
trying to
bashful.
take the phone off me.
I see your face back there.
Peekaboo.
Oh. Oh.
That's trouble.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Good lad.
So, Randall Flagg's grandfather was born in Glasgow, Lanarkshire.
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 I'm-
Isn't that
I'm-
where William Wallace was from? Lanark.
Well,
So,
it's pretty, but I stay in South Lanarkshire, and there's North
Okay.
Lanarkshire, and then there's Lanark, and then there's
really
Lanarkshire.
different. Mm.
I definitely like, but it's
I
So-
see you.
all kind of central.
Hi, Callan.
Callum.
Callum.
That's a
What are you
grand
doing,
name.
Callum? What's your day like today? What are you up to?
We went to soft play and they run a bit mad, didn't they?
They run a bit mad.
And then he came home, fell asleep, so he'll be up all night.
Nice. And what is it? It's about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon there?
5.
5? Oh, 6 hours. Right. I can do math. Math is hard.
I can't.
Hi, buddy. Look
Yeah.
at that smiley face.
I told you. You act shy for 2 seconds and then he's trouble.
Trouble.
Bravo.
So what do you do in Glasgow? What's you work, you're with a telephone company now, and I see you, Callum. And so what do you do for fun in Glasgow? So you personally, a local, what do you do rather than go, well, the tourists go here? What do you do for fun in Glasgow?
Actually, not been out in Glasgow in so long.
Don't.
There's
Well, your
loads-
neck of the woods then, outside of Glasgow.
No, we normally like to go camping. We stop it. You're going to pull the curtain down. You're going to pull the curtains off the rail. No, we just
Yeah.
go camping or normally just spend time with friends and that. But we hardly ever go out because we've all got kids, like really small kids. so
Right.
we can never get a babysitter for them all.
I remember photos of you when we were first friends back in. I was working for Taps Para magazine, so that would have been 2009 or 10. You were always partying, you and all your girlfriends, and you were all dressed up to the nines and partying, and then you had
Go to-
kids.
Go to
And,
raves and stuff like
Then you
that.
became a mom.
Now I'm so boring. I don't do anything.
You're boring now.
Boring because of you. Okay. No, I'd
How
just
could
rather,
you possibly be boring?
I'd just rather spend time with them than go out and
Yeah.
wake up the next day with a blinding high.
That's the way it is when you're a parent. One thing I noticed about the evolution of your Facebook page 10 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, it was partying and fun and swimsuits and dresses and drinking and all of that stuff. And now I rarely see pictures on your Facebook that are not of you and your boys, the boys playing, birthday parties, all of that stuff, the things they do. So life changes. You become a parent and suddenly that's where your focus is.
Well, I never ever wanted kids, so it was a shock when I did fall pregnant, and I think, to be honest, that's what I needed. Like, I'd no kind of direction in life, and I was just partying and doing what I wanted, and I wasn't really thinking about anything else but just having a good time. So
Right.
when they came along, everything changed, and like I've just worked my hardest just to make sure that they've got everything that they need. Do you know what I mean?
That's admirable. You just,
but isn't it amazing how your focus does change? You didn't want kids, but then when you get kids, and it's like, oh, I can't.
That's
think of
all I
life
want
without them.
anymore is to take care of my kids. Yeah.
I got something that I didn't know I wanted, so it was the strangest thing that ever happened to me. Because I always said for you when I was really little that I would never have kids, I'd never get married, or this.
The strangest, most natural thing, though.
Yeah, right.
It's so natural. People say, how can you do it? And I used to say that, I could never have kids. I couldn't deal with not having my sleep or being able to somebody shouting on me 24 hours a day or whatever.
Sure.
But see, when it's your own kids, it's different. See, if it was somebody else's kids, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to shut that up.
Yeah. Could you shut up that kid?
Oh, that kid's driving me nuts. But when it's your own kids, it's totally different. Like,
yes.
I don't know. It's totally different, and it's been a joy. What's that? Ew.
Callum, where's your brother? Is he sleeping?
Where is he?
He's in the room.
He's in the living room.
Oh, he's in the other room. So you should go get him. Or is he sleeping?
You go get Aiden.
Go get him and bring him in. There he goes.
He's going to run.
He's going to run. Nice.
Aiden's that's Callum. He's 4 and Aiden's 5. He's on the path to being diagnosed with autism. So he'll talk to you, but he'll probably just repeat what you say.
That's okay. That's okay.
But they're starting to play a lot more together, which is good for me because I'm getting a wee bit more time and they're starting to play with each other. So,
yeah.
But it's brilliant. It's great having kids.
Yes. So, what's your favorite thing to do with your boys? What do? You take them out to the park? Do you just play at the house? You got a yard out there or a garden?
Got a big. I stay in a block of flats, so there's a big, huge back garden, and I've just I've just commandeered it with trampolines, shoots, swings. I've taken up the full backyard.
There's Aiden. Hi, Aiden. What you doing, buddy? Hey.
Hey, Aiden.
Is
How are you, lad?
Dave and Scotty?
How you doing, Aiden? I've known your mama since before you were even born.
Yeah, what noise?
Yeah, you can smell me from there.
You making noise?
I'm making noise. Sorry, you're making noise.
I'm making noise. Can you make noise, Aiden? What kind of noise do you make?
Yeah. It's going to make a noise screaming.
Screaming.
Ah, screaming noise. I can do screaming noise. I want cake.
Are you wearing Buzz Lightyear pajamas?
Say what about louder?
What, Aiden? What? Say again. Are you wearing your Buzz Lightyear pajamas?
Yeah.
Big heavy windmills. What about louder?
Here's my daughter. Look at this. This is Ellery. Here, step up. You see your picture there? I just elbowed her in the face. There's
Yeah.
Ellery. She's 11 years old. How old are you, Aiden?
How old are you? You 5?
Are you 5?
No.
What age are you, Callum?
Oh,
I'm 4.
How
You're
old did you
4?
say Ellery was?
Ellery's 8. I was mixing it up with Rowan. Steph Cuervo Queen over in the chat room. She wants to know, Heather, do you know Jamie Fraser, the Outlander hottie?
Nope. I've never even seen that either. I need to watch it.
You're in Scotland. Surely you know him.
I think he stays 4 doors down next to my granny.
There you go. 4 doors down next to Granny's. So
That's
So
funny,
they're-
but any American person I've ever met, and I stayed in America for 4 months, they asked me if I knew somebody that stayed in Glasgow. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, or it's like, I love William Wallace. I'm like, that's great. What you
you-
doing?
the stereotypical
Yep,
haggis.
I'm
eat
almost done.
haggis every day. How'd you catch a haggis?
How do you catch a haggis? Well, do you like haggis, by the way?
Oh, absolutely love haggis.
I love it too. We used to have a historical group that Dave and I were part of, and our cook. Dave, have you ever even made haggis?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Peppercorn sauce as well. Nips and tatties.
Nice nips and tatties.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
And now somebody said if you go to Scotland, everything's deep fried. Somebody told me the other night.
I said that the other day.
Oh, you said that.
That
That was
was
a joke, but
but that was my memory from Edinburgh in 2001. Is it just seemed like everything was deep fried.
Oh, if you asked them to do it, they would do it. They used to do like deep fried Mars bars and stuff like that.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think they probably see Dave or I come and they go, here's those Americans. Let's deep fry something for them.
Oh, but you need to try a pizza crunch. It's a deep fried pizza, and it's like
Oh,
get crispy batter on it, and it is so good. And then
nice.
it's so like stringy.
I'm not a big deep fried person, but some things sound kind of good deep fried.
No,
I like
it's-
Scotch eggs are good. So
No. I'm not a fan of that, but
You're not a fan of Scotch eggs? Oh, we eat a lot of those here.
yeah, we had them at the festival all the time.
I don't not dislike them, but I wouldn't pick one up and eat it.
So yeah, I don't know how they're made, but they were good. We had them at the festival. When we were hungry, we just wanted to get a Scotch egg.
That was one of the best breakfasts. That and I like a good bangers and mash too.
Steph wants to know how far are you from where they film Outlander? I would guess she doesn't know because she's never seen the series. But what is the castle where they filmed that?
Where was it filmed? And I'll tell you maybe.
Where?
Where was it filmed?
I don't know. I don't know where they use a castle for Castle Fraser, and I
don't know
remember
which
the
one
name
they
of
use. The guy who
I
did
can find out.
there's a guy on Instagram, Andy the Highlander, he calls himself, and he does walking tours of various castles and things. I know he's been to that castle on several of his videos, but I couldn't tell you where it is off the top of my head.
No, I
Let's
couldn't
see if
tell.
they can tell us. Highlander filming locations. Let's see what we got here. Locations: Scotland, New York, New Jersey, London, and Hertfordshire. So, and of course, it's a long article, so it doesn't. Glencoe, the breathtaking landscape of Glencoe, Scotland. I've been there.
Probably about 40 minutes away.
How is this? The battle between the warring Scots tribes was staged before the striking conical peak of, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Bochael Etiv Beg? Bieg? That ring a bell?
Etiv does, but maybe up beside one of the locks, up.
All right. It says it's Glencoe on the A82 in Argyllshire, Scotland.
That's about an hour and 40 minutes away from here.
Some of it was filmed in Wales. Let's see. They used they used the Eileen Donnan Castle in Dorney, 8 miles east of Kyle of Lochalsh. Alsh. Lochalsh. Do you know where that is?
No.
Not the way you're butchering it.
No stranger to the screen, Eileen Donnan has also been seen in Bonnie Prince Charlie in 1948, David Niven, the Master of Ballantrae in 1953, Errol Flynn in Loch Ness in 1996.
No,
1996.
They've got those reversed. Master Ballantrae is Errol Flynn.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Master of Ballantrae was Errol Flynn. And The World Is Not Enough and other places and blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to find the location of the castle that they used.
I bet it's like an English castle.
English castle. I don't know.
I bet it probably is.
Let's see. I'm scrolling through Highland locations in the fight in New York. Some church in Kilburn, London. This site is no help. It's all small type. Let's see. Let's try this other one. I want to see where they filmed the castle that was supposed to. Oh, Highlander. Now they're showing me Highlander film locations from Christopher Lambert. I am Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
Yeah. Let's hire a Frenchman to play a Scot.
Yeah,
and
a
to play an
Belgian
Egyptian.
Frenchman. So,
Irish people to play a Scotsman.
What, Irish?
Normally they get like
Yeah.
Irish people to play Scotsman and vice versa. Why don't you just get an Irish person to play an Irish person? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's like hiring a Japanese person to play Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Thai. So
Let's get somebody that can actually
close
speak
enough.
the accent or the whatever.
Yeah. Christopher Lambert could not master the Scottish accent.
No.
I am Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. I was born in 1513 on Loch Shiel or whatever.
No, you
So-
weren't.
No, you
silly
weren't.
Frenchman.
You were born in Paris. Let's see. They filmed. I wish they would just show a picture and go, here's the castle named such and such. Kinloch Ranach, Craig Nadoon. Is one of the Outlander's most well-known moments is when Claire travels back through time at the Craig Nadoon stones. And this was at Kinloch Ranach. Kinloch? Does that ring a bell?
Rings a bell.
2-hour drive from Edinburgh, it says. Glasgow or Inverness. So it's kind of right in the middle of all three. What else we got? We got
And Glasgow as well.
Doune Castle.
Central.
Doune Castle is a 15th century medieval stronghold.
I worked in Doon. I worked Doon and Doon a few months ago.
Doune and Doune?
Doon. I worked Doon and Doon.
Doune?
Doon.
Doune?
doing the style. Yeah.
Let's see. Clan Mackenzie in real life. Their family home is at Castle Leod. Leod. While served as the inspiration to the Castle Leach in the Outlander novels, it was not chosen as a filming location, but you can still visit that castle. Well, thanks. Game of Thrones, English heritage. Scottish. I guess it's just not going to tell me. Oh, here we go. Fraser's Ridge, Hill of Roe. Hey, Fraser's Ridge. The iconic Fraser's Ridge location where Jamie and Claire live in North Carolina. The log cabin they live in is that, well, that doesn't help me. Dune Castle, Doune, by car. In addition, you can see whatever. There's a picture of it here, but of course, it doesn't tell you what site you're looking at there, but that's the castle. Anyway, enough of that tomfoolery. I'm going to get out of that. There we go. Now I'm back. I'm actually back. So, well, I got to see if anybody's saying anything. How is she from? Oh, okay. That was what Steph asked. From where they filmed Highlander. Probably a couple hours drive. Steph would be my guess. Any of the locations where they filmed kind of centrally. So you could probably get to one of those locations, Heather, by car in 2 hours. So, well, I hope to get over there again this year to do some filming with some friends out there in around London. But you're only, a few hours drive. So we'll see. I'll let you know when we're coming out there. And
it's worth jumping on a train and taking a trip.
Pints.
2 seconds. Aiden, turn that off. He's pouring water out the tap, so my bathroom will probably end up be flooded.
Yeah, my daughter did that once. When she was about 3, Ellery left the upstairs bathroom tub on with the plug in it, and we didn't hear it, and we didn't even think to check on it. She was just 2 or 3, and she turned on the tub. We came home, and you could hear it. Well, we couldn't hear it running. We could hear it dripping. It was up on the landing upstairs. There's a railing and all that, but then you go downstairs. It all overflowed, and it was coming out of the light fixtures downstairs.
Oh my God!
It flooded, and it ruined the one wall, and it was just, oh my God, seriously.
Nightmare.
So it was either Ellie or Rowan. That was the Somerset house, Dave, out in the woods that we had, the big house out there. So 6 years ago, yeah, I'd make about right, Ellie. So Randall Flagg said the real Outlander filmed in New Jersey also. Yes. I don't know if they did what was supposed to be Scottish sites in New Jersey, but probably some of when they, in the storyline, they immigrate to America in the 1700s and just before the American Revolution. And so
I don't think I've watched it since the first season.
We saw it up through season 4 or 5. Now they got season 7 coming out. So we missed in total season 6. And it was kind of cool. They came from Scotland. They emigrated to America. And so in the American frontier during the 1770s. So it'll be interesting to see where it's gone. We'll have to catch up and watch it. So, well, Heather, it's good to have you calling. I'm glad you got up the bravery to give us a call. We're just wee little lovable fuzzballs, Dave and I. So we're safe and harmless.
Excellent. I might come back, but I'll leave you to it, and I'll go and make sure there's no flood in my flat.
Yeah. Where's the best place to see your portrait work?
Facebook or mostly Facebook.
Okay, I'll have to go check it out.
Heather White, WHYTE, over on Facebook.
I've got 2 pages, and I've got my art page and then my cake page.
Can they get to your art page by going to your own your? Where would you rather have people come and take a look if they wanted to friend you on
If I wanted
Facebook?
to see the drawings, it'd probably be the drawing page because there's too much stuff in my page. But anyway,
Right.
I'll
Okay.
pass that on.
All right. So
All right.
go check her workout, and you can see her cakes probably too. I'd hire you to do a cake if you're over here, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't survive the shipping. So, all right.
Right.
Thanks for coming on, Heather.
No
It's so
bother.
good to see you.
Good seeing you.
Have fun with the boys.
All right.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, lads.
All right. That was my friend Heather White, outside of Glasgow, Scotland.
All right. So before we jump off, I'm going to finish up this.
Oh, yes, that's right. We interrupted your story.
So this screaming would go on for a week, and then there would be just silence. Okay. So the story is that what the lad did is he went around to the back side of the building.
Right.
And there was a huge trellis there. And he climbed the trellis to her window. Now, she was on the 3rd story from the front. But because of the fact that it's built on a hill, he's 6 floors up.
Okay.
Okay. He doesn't want to hang on this trellis outside the building 6 floors up.
Right.
She wants in. So she's got the window open. He's got one leg inside the thing, and she's like, "Oh, no, you can't come in because someone will hear you and I'll get in trouble and I don't want to get expelled and blah blah blah."
Right.
And so she's pushing him back so that he doesn't come in. He loses his grip and he falls. That's the first scream. The male scream. Falls and he breaks his neck and dies. Okay.
Bummer.
She screams out of terror because he's fallen and she loves him, even though they were pissed at each other.
And then weeps for a week.
And then goes silent. And what people don't know, did she kill herself or did she leave school?
Mm-hmm.
But every year, the people that live in this room have to move out that week. They just can't take it.
Oh.
And you don't know, right? Unless you have it marked on the calendar. Just imagine you're a young student and you've gone to bed, and it's no longer like a girls' dorm, male or whatever. It's a mixed sort of dorm thing. So you don't know if there's men or women staying in this room from year to year. But you're a young student. You're staying in the middle of the night. There's this blood-curdling scream followed by another blood-curdling scream followed by crying that just won't stop for like.
Nice. Yeah.
So what the prof said is that pretty much these kids, they just move out for a week till it's done. And then at the end of the semester, they don't move back.
Wow.
They're like, I'll get an apartment in town,
Nice. By the way, folks, I can't find Heather's art page fast enough to post it up. So you can go to her Facebook, which is just Heather White, WHY.
And find a link and do it yourself.
And you can find a link and get to her stuff. So worth taking the time to take a peek. She's fantastic. So, all right.
So yeah, that's one of many. We'll save them for a Friday night, but there are a lot of ghost stories that come out of that film shoot.
Yes.
We had bizarre experiences there ourselves. I had several experiences there and at Campbell's Mansion off campus that there were some pretty bizarre things happening there as well. But yeah. So
by the way, I want to encourage everybody before we go to go over to my Patreon page. We haven't really started in full switching this show over to Patreon yet, but you go here to that link. It's just patreon.com/Scotty Roberts.
Do we have a plan for the chat room for the
I haven't figured that out yet. You can do live broadcasting from Patreon, because I know there are other shows I watch over there that do that, like Mindseed TV. They do the paranormal show, but then he does other stuff too.
Right.
And so there's ways to do it. I just haven't been able to explore it all out yet. But
are you still going to simulcast on Facebook?
I will simulcast on Facebook.
Maybe with your Intrep heads, we'll have to move
here's
to
the
Facebook.
deal. Here's the deal with this: is I can do a show over there, but if I'm going to charge people monthly, $4 a month, folks, less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, to
And
get
worth it.
every show that we do. But if I simulcast it live, what's the point? You can just go to the free one. So,
But
unless
we have to find some place for the Intrep heads to sit and chat.
that's right. We need a chat room to go along with the show. So I will get it figured out, and it might just be those who are members have to be, that it's limited to them to chat. I'll figure it out, and I don't want to get anybody pissed off. I had somebody ask me, well, wait, we did a membership over on YouTube. Does that mean I have to pay over on Patreon? Well, yeah, they're two different entities. And so you can let one go,
So let's talk about that. So people that have, because I'm in that group.
Yep.
Membership on Facebook or on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Does that money still come to you when you're demonetized?
When I was demonetized, I was only demonetized for the one episode that they took down.
But if we're going to leave YouTube,
oh yeah, it'll still come because I'll still be putting content up at YouTube. What I'll probably do is this over on YouTube. I'll put up snippets from the shows that we do live over on Patreon. Or what we'll do is it might be a thing where I have to set it up where you can come and chat in the live chat on Patreon, but then we'll post it a week later. It'll go up over on YouTube and you can watch it. You can comment in the comments, but you can't comment on the chat room. So I've got to still figure things out. That's why we haven't got it all switched over yet. I know it works over there. So we'll get it taken care of. And before we make the switch, I'll announce how everything is going to work. So right now I'm putting up shows over there, old shows, archived shows. I've only got 2 of them up right now. But I'm going to continue doing that and load up that Patreon with shows, some of them from 4 and 5 years ago that either you weren't here or you don't even remember them. And I'll probably put up some of the shows that deal with when we did Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. We did 35 episodes in that series. I'll put up the series on the Jinn. And I'll put up some of the other series that we've done so that they're there and there's content. And people can go start seeing content over there. I want to say we've got a few people already that signed up over on Patreon. I appreciate it very much. It's $4 is the minimum. We had one person come in and pledge $25 a month. So you can do, and it automatically takes it off your card every month. And so that's somebody who wants to see the show furthered and supported. So you can do whatever amount you want, but there's a minimum. Be like $4 is your minimum.
Yeah, and I have a Patreon page. I've had it for a couple of years and only just recently found out it wasn't live yet.
There you go. Yeah. My Patreon page is live. You can go over there now. You can see the intro video is public. It lasts a minute and a half. But then the other videos are members only. And so you can go check those out. We've got Bragg's Folly is up over there. And we've got E Pluribus Unum, 2 more recent shows that you can go watch. Bragg's Folly was almost 2 months ago. And E Pluribus Unum is just like a week or 2 old. Field Guy said, I made a Patreon page like 10 years ago. I just didn't know how to do anything there. I did the same thing. I've had a Patreon page for years. I just never did anything there. It was just blank. So it says $36 a month. Oh yeah. That's what's been pledged over on my page so far. 25 from one, 5 from another.
Yeah.
10 from another. Well, 30, that doesn't add up to 36. It was 5, 10. It's Leslie Holker and Barbie D and Russ Haslage, the owner of the radio station. They all pledged, and it adds up to $36 a month.
I'm going to go over and pledge. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
And it's all right. I don't want to pressure anybody to pledge. We're going to have, I would like to do it where there's a portion of the show that is for those who paid for it and a portion of the show that's free. It could be like the show and then the captain's cabin is free. Things like that. But I got to make sure I understand the tools of how to make that work and make a chat room work for those who have pledged. So it's just that way. And the only reason I'm doing this is, number one, it'd be nice to be able to do this thing I spend so much time doing every month and show a little revenue stream for it. That could actually be working. I get about $100 to $120 a month off of YouTube, but then YouTube can also ban my content and ban me for a week.
It's so ridiculous.
If I say something they don't like. And so even out of context, a guest can say it. And guess what? I get banned. So because it's on my broadcast. So I've got 2 more hits and they'll remove my whole site over there if it happens 2 more times. So and I've gotten a couple of warnings in the past, but then they,
well, and somebody can go 4 or 5 years back and said, "Oh, look what he said."
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that's exactly what happens. The Bragg's Folly one, that's the one I got banned for, and got the wrist slap of a week where I couldn't post on YouTube. That's nice to do to your patrons, by the way. I'm going to punish you for saying something I don't like and you can't post for a week. And it'll be 2 weeks or a month if it happens again. But when that show was from, that was from when Donald Trump was originally indicted, which was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So, but I've had things from 2 years ago come back and say, we found this content that goes against our community standards. And the community standards over there at YouTube are so stupid.
Fickle.
And they're fickle, and they like to think they have a good tight ship going there.
This wasn't
it's
against the rules when you said it 4 years ago, but it's against the rules now, so we're going to punish you
now. Exactly. And so, and what was said in the Bragg's Folly episode, you'll see it with, no, I didn't put the Captain's Cabin up in that one, so you can't see it over on Patreon. I just put the 1 hour episode up. And, but Professor Bauer said something talking about the Department of Defense and something that they were doing. And they told me they banned that show and slapped me for a week and put 1 strike against my page because I was disseminating medical misinformation. So the post didn't even have anything to do with medical, but it was related to COVID. So there you go. Yeah, someone fishing for something or somebody that doesn't like me. Put a strike out. I'm reporting your post.
And there's the other side of that. Then you're subject to anybody that doesn't like you just scrolling through stuff, looking for reasons to.
Now that's why they do allow it at YouTube. They do allow you to dispute their claim. And I've submitted. I will say this for YouTube. With the 1 strike they gave me on that one-liner in that show, I think it was a bigger reason. I think they didn't like the fact that I was defending Trump in the indictment. It was a whole big thing. And so they just said, well, we'll just remove that whole show and call it for this one-liner. But I've had maybe 6 times I've disputed things, and they come back and say, you're right, we reviewed it, and we'll restore your video and do this and that and the other thing. So I'm still going to do that on the Bragg's Folly one. I've got 30 days to redispute it. So, I said the C word. Yeah, in today's show. But I said it with an accent. So hopefully somebody won't get their undies in a bundle and report me.
Oh my God.
Because that's a naughty, nasty word here. Glasgow, it's almost a term of endearment.
Yeah.
So you ever watch Train Spotting? Watch that movie and see how they use that word in that movie. It's like saying, oh, come on and have a pint, you wanker.
Have you, there's a young woman who's a teacher and
Go figure.
she teaches kindergarten, and
Okay.
so she does these posts, strange things or things heard in class type thing, right?
Yeah.
And this little girl comes up to her and goes, "How do you spell cunt?" She says, "Excuse me." So I must not have heard that right. And she goes, "Is it?" And she spells it out. She goes, "I did hear it right. Yes, that's right. Why are we using that word?" and she goes, "Well, so and so has it on her whiteboard." She's like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever the little girl's name is. Can you bring your whiteboard up here?" "Oh, I'm not quite done." "Yes, you are. Bring it up right now." Let's take a
Don't
look at
erase
that.
anything. Just bring it up.
And she looks at
Yeah,
so
you said
she's
this, yeah.
done a crossover, a combination cat and unicorn, and she's
Oh.
called it cunt because that's the name she's given it.
Oh.
And so now all these little kids are like, "Let's all be cunts on the playground today." No.
Nice. No, let's not do that.
So
Nice.
at
Watch, you probably
lunchtime,
just got my show banned.
well, if her video hasn't been banned, I don't see why you would be banned.
Okay. There you
So
go.
at lunchtime, then the principal comes up. "Can you explain to me why the kindergartners are all running around using the C word?"
Nice.
She's like, I can, and I don't know how to stop them because it's not what they think it is.
Yep.
And they think they're being cute,
Other than
and
to
I don't know
say
how
you
to
can't
tell them
say
not
that
to.
word.
So she's eventually we got it all sorted out, and we
Well,
don't
that's
use that
good.
word now.
That's good.
But yeah, that's hilarious. That's
Well, I am going to end the show, and I'm going to take my daughter to Chinese. And
I miss Chinese.
yeah, me too.
Rowan told me I have to come take her, so one of these days I'll get free and get to Wisconsin. And
Yes. If anybody wants to join us, we're going to Mongolian Barbecue in Stillwater, and we'll be there in about an hour. And it used to be the old Khan's Mongolian Barbecue. Now it's just Mongolian Barbecue. They've got sushi there, which is really good. They've got your typical huge ass Chinese buffet. They've got their teppanyaki bar where you
super
line up to
reasonably
fill
priced
your
too.
bowl with all the raw ingredients, and they cook it up on the big steel pan. And so there's good food there. And I was kind of hoping to wait for Flynn to get home and bring him too. But
Where's Flynn?
he went out on a trip with scouts. They went to somewhere where there's a submarine. They all slept on a submarine overnight or something like that. So
Really?
I think
Chicago?
So.
I can't think of where else you guys. Where do we have a submarine around here?
I don't know. It's got to be Chicago or Duluth or something. I don't know for sure.
There's not a submarine that I know of in Duluth.
Yeah, me either. So I don't know exactly where it is. So let's see.
You let the 13-year-old take off to sleep on a submarine, and you don't even know where he's at?
Well, Rainey knows. So Rainey knows all this stuff.
Maybe the kids in Chicago should be safe. You should
be okay in Chicago. Let's see.
Oh my God. When we were in high school, we were coming back from a National Junior Achievements thing in Bloomington, Indiana. And they decided the drivers were like, "We've reached our driving limit. We have to stop. We're in Chicago." And so they kicked us all off the buses. It's like 9:30 at night. They're like, "You kids go have fun for a while. We got to sleep." And they just dumped 2 busloads of high school kids off in Chicago. And the teacher, there were like 3 teacher chaperones with her, maybe 4.
Wow.
We had 2 different buses, and they said, "Nobody go in groups less than 3." And off we went into the.
Well, that was back
evening.
in the dark ages, and Chicago was somewhat safer.
Yeah, I guess.
By the way, I'm looking for submarine in my email. I just put in the keyword submarine because I thought it would come up for one of the scouting emails, and didn't. But something that came up was the Beaches of Normandy tours, which I get periodic emails from them. Did you know that American submarine crews used to drink torpedo fuel? Never underestimate a sailor's thirst. The much maligned Mark 14 torpedoes used by U.S. submarines in early World War II used 180 proof grain alcohol for fuel. So the Navy knew that sailors would be happy to get their hands on the booze, so it was laced with Pink Lady, a blend of dye and methanol to render it undrinkable. Methanol is poisonous and can cause blindness, but ingenious sailors started to strain the fuel through sieves made of compressed bread in an attempt to remove it. So, how about that? Submarine sailors used to drink alcohol with made from
Torpedo juice.
And by the way, folks, one last thing before we go to, because it's live now, I want you to go over to
Patreon.
Patriot Propaganda Apparel.com. This is our site that we launched with our fancy schmancy t-shirts.
Yeah, buy yourself a t-shirt, folks.
Yeah, just go over if you're conservative politically and you like this stuff, here's the link. Go over to that site, patriotpropagandaapparel.com, and take a look at the shirts we have over there. We've got the comic book superhero shirts I did of Trump and DeSantis. We've got 3 other shirts that are Patriot Propaganda, if you will, and you can take a look at them. And we've got the Trump finger shirt flipping off. We kind of did a little ad campaign, and I said I got the perfect tagline for it. When "Let's Go" branded just isn't good enough. So go take a look at those shirts over on Patriot Propaganda. Site is still growing. We're adding more things that launched on Friday afternoon. So go take a peek and pick up a nice, cool T-shirt over there. You're going to really like them. And they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They're huge. So go take a peek. I grabbed the Trump fingerprint shirt, said Randall Flagg. All right, Randall. Thank you.
Good job.
So everybody go take a look and see what you think. And buy something. Rainey's going to start doing tumblers for them as well. I don't think she'll be able to handle the quantities in the long run as this site grows. If you get an order for in 1 week, you do 10,000 tumblers. I don't think she has the capacity here to do that unless we get more equipment, which could just be in the offing. And so our printer, it's all American-made garments, American printing. It's veteran-owned. Every one of us, but one of us are in the partnership is a veteran. And even though I didn't serve very long, I had a medical discharge.
It is what you is.
Still a veteran. And another one of our guys was in the Air Force, I believe. And
well, that's suspect.
So we say, yeah. So we say we're American-made, veteran-owned, and conservatives love us.
We're all veterans, and one of the guys was in the Air Force.
One of the guys, and we're veterans. One of the guys was in the Air Force, though. So nice. The Trump fingerprint shirt is awesome. It's awesome. I wanted to do that shirt in all the colors, the typical, the black, the gray, the red, the white. I wanted to do a bright orange one to mimic, Jailhouse Orange. We were going to call it the Jailhouse Orange shirt. So, but I think they had a trouble finding those American made. So, or they were super expensive American made. So, we're an American band, says Randall Flagg. All right, folks. And with that, I got to get out of here.
Yeah. It's almost noon.
It is. It's wow. All right. We stayed almost an hour over. Chinese.
Yay, Chinese.
Yeah, we'll
Love
do
you,
Chinese,
sweetie.
baby.
Have fun.
All right. See you, Uncle Dave.
Miss you, honey bunny.
And folks, that's it. That's it for today. A little longer version of the show because I had to go run and pick.
On the store.
Are you interrupting? All right. We're going to get out of here. Everybody, you have a great day. You have fun. I'll see you when tomorrow night. If I'm not too fried, when I doing the night shift, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, this week. When I do those night shifts in between when we have a radio show like Monday night, I can still do it because it's before I have to go in. So expect a show tomorrow night. It'll be a 1 hour. There'll be 5 minutes of the captain's cabin, and we'll move on after that. So everybody, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for making this show part of your routine on Sunday. And so, you know what? Live long and prosper.